Hello everybody. Welcome to CPL Match Leak Wednesday edition. We got a little continuation from yesterday, and just like yesterday, I'm Saetzero with Neblime. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing excellent. I am very excited to continue that series from last time. You'll find out why soon enough. Yes, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. We have another excellent cast that I'm looking forward to today.
Yeah,
Will there be some trivia? Escalade, just shoot the question in chat. We'll see what happens.
Trivia? Oh no. Like, we're giving you a bonus game. How much bonus content do you guys need? You're so greedy. You're so greedy. But that's okay. Look, if you can look on the screen right now, you see we got a jam-packed schedule of stuff. We are continuing our series from yesterday. One more Tier 0 game from the EMU Directorate versus, I don't remember. Fill me in. I know you got me. Who did they play?
They played against, I'm thinking Flipendo Lifeguards.
There we go. Flipendo Lifeguards, yes. It's on the screen. I have the abbreviations. Man, I'm just out of it today. That's okay though. And we got a bunch of Tier 3 action going with the giving the lower guys a chance to shine. We got GOSU versus 2Fact2 Furious for a lot of Tier 3 action, but we still got that Tier 0 ahead of it. If you didn't see the cast yesterday, we covered the rest of that Tier 0 series, so go check it out on the VODs, the YouTube. You can go see everything we're about. But I know you're excited to get started into it. You ready to just get in?
I certainly am. Let's start that first game of the last series of yesterday's cast. Perfectly simple.
All right, go for it.
Oh, right, I'm hosting it. Oh, yeah.
You're hosting it.
Saetzero doesn't want to say on stream, hey, you're hosting and start the game. So he's just trying to hint, like, you ready, Neblime? You ready? Yeah, okay, we're ready. And I'm like, I'm good.
It's all good, man.
All right, in the top right, in the yellow, we have Shroom of Doom. And in the bottom left, in the pink, we have Cody for Flipendo Lifeguards here. Shroom of Doom for United EMU Directorate. Now, I would remind you that this is the Tier 0 one. We're ending that cast from yesterday. So this is the last Tier 0 we're going to have today. So a bit more of a higher level game before we jump into the Tier 3s. And this is going to be a TVT. Aren't you just so happy, Saetzero?
You know what? I am a little bit happy because it is Tier 0. You know, maybe these guys will spice it up. And I'm still a little bit of a magnet for at least more exciting TVT. Because we don't get... at least in CPL, the most of the TVTs I watched are not same openers, battle lines, cut the map in half, any of that kind of nonsense. There's usually someone trying to shake things up, whether it's like 3 factory vultures to put pressure on, someone going wraiths or drops. So hopefully we do get a little distinction between the two players, but Tier 0, if the safe way to play is to cut the map in half, I won't be surprised if these guys do it. But
thing is, on Eclipse, you can't cleanly cut the map in half. It's an odd number of bases because of that top left. So one player is going to more than the other. Now, you can kind of have one player be one ahead on bases, and the game isn't necessarily over. It just means the player that's lower on bases has to make something happen within the long term. Of course, the player with one more base just gets so much more money. And that said, Eclipse isn't as bad as some modern maps for being like always split.
Yeah, I feel like this map, though, like you're saying, it's symmetrical, but not symmetrical in a way like a Fighting Spirit would be. That you really want to, if you're getting into late game and multiple bases being taken, you want that bottom right. Like, right? Because you get the high ground, much easier to defend. That double gas and top left's juicy, but it's low ground. That sounds dangerous.
It's true, but once you take it, it's actually, I would say, almost easy to hold because it's so awkward to get units down that ramp into there. Just because of, like, the angle of it. Whereas the bottom right bases, I would say, well, you know, you can sort of attack from the low ground. If you have, like, more tanks and you don't mind being inefficient, it's kind of easier to get in there from the low ground. Whereas the top left, you have to get all the way down the ramp before you're in range of the command center. So once you're fully established there, it's actually easier to defend counterintuitively. Because you just don't go near the ramps where they can hit you from high ground. Pushing up that ramp, of course, is like impossible if there's enemy tanks there, but you don't need to do that to defend it. Whereas the bottom right ones, they're like much more droppable. They're, you know, easy to hit from low ground as long as you can like kind of overcome whatever defender's advantage is there.
Now, is there usually an expanding pattern there? It's like, you know, the bottom spawn is more likely to take the top left or anything like that? That kind of goes into play?
No difference there. I would say players pretty much always try and take the bottom right first on this map. Kind of great counter to what I just said, because the top left is pretty far away. Now look at this. I see you coming up here, getting harassed away a bit. Both players not going for a proxy barracks or anything. Now we see Shroom of Doom making a second marine, while Cody is not. Now, something that can happen here, because he's already lifted his barracks, is you can come across the map with like 2 or 3 Marines and rally a Vulture, and if your opponent only has 1 Marine, say they got 1 Vulture then shot, they suddenly just lose the fight at their natural. If their CC is started, oh, actually, hang on, he's not stopping with 2 Marines, going with 2 factories as well. Shroomadroom does not want to waste any time today. He heard TBT was a long matchup, but you know, he has an appointment in an hour, so he's got to get out of here. He's throwing down 2 factories, trying to bring the aggression against Cody here. Now, Cody is going for a Vulture first, which is disadvantageous against us, but the SCV from Cody's going to get in. It's going to see that there's no command center, and that's pretty much all that Cody needs to know, but he's going to see the 2 factories as well, so he has a perfectly good idea what's going on. Even sees 3 SCVs still in gas. Well, actually, I suppose even if you go to a Vulture and still have 3 in gas, it's a bit early to see if it's going to be a tank variant or a Vulture variant, but that's still critical scouting information from Cody. Yeah, he froze down that machine shop. I imagine we'll see a second factory soon and probably a bunker coming up here because he has to get the defenses ready. His Vulture's still going to come across, try and keep any scouting back or any units coming out fast.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. We actually saw from Shroomadroom, was paying attention. Both guys did go down to 1 guy in the gas early on, but when the scout left, he, playing the mind games, went back to 3. As soon as there's no vision on it happening, so the fact that the SV got to go in and see what was going on, there could have been a real good chance to kind of catch your opponent off guard, but Cody managed to get the scout in, gets the good information. And I still like their spot, though. Like, they know what's going on. Like, you're going to have a defender's advantage, but that CC is almost completed already. It's going to be really on Shroomadroom to get something going, but he's already got a tank. He's going to move out with a couple boys and get some pressure on.
I highly question what Shroomadroom is doing, though. He's going with a mixed tank Vulture 2-fact like you would in TVP, but I think this makes absolutely 0 sense in TVT. I think you either go all-out tanks or all-out Vultures. Like, the Vultures run in, try and lay their mines and, you know, kill SCV and stuff, or the tank is sieging up and just pushing your natural down. If you mix it, you're making both options weaker, because if your opponent's going pure tanks, the Vultures, like, they're not bad at laying mines, but we're in this narrow area, they kind of don't do as much. Whereas if you go, you know, if you're trying to get the Vultures in and lay mines, the tanks just going to be in the back kind of pelting away and don't do a good job at that. So I would really have liked to see double shot and tanks coming in, but he's just going to go with this little attack here. The bunker is up, and see, that just denies all the Vultures completely until the tank takes it out as well. And Cody's going to have tanks of his own pretty soon here. In fact, he's producing his own Vultures here. Commonly you make a Goliath tank sometimes when you're against a 1-base opponent, but not this time. I don't know if he meant to bait that shot and then repair. If he did, that's kind of sick.
I mean, Spider-Mine's a finish for Cody, so if you think you got enough to kind of move out here, it's just the 1 tank, so, you know, 1 well-placed mine, you can really kind of bust out here. Tank goes down. Looks like pulling SB is going to go for the bust to make sure this doesn't get worse.
Yeah, I think Cody will be able to hold him off here. That he's not trying to lay any mines, he's just shooting. In that case, he will get slaughtered. So, actually, I take it back. Now, that tank didn't get repaired, unfortunately. I don't know what Shroomadroom's SCVs were doing during that fight. They're repairing now. Is it too late? Oh, it is if that mine goes off. Okay. So it looks like Cody's going to clean it up just barely. Shroomadroom has started his command center here. So the game will go on. You know, Shroomadroom is up a couple SCVs, but his command center is not going to be finished for a while. So I'd say Shroomadroom is just slightly behind here. It's not so bad. The question is, can he maintain map control and win these fights? Going to win this little Vulture skirmish here, which is definitely big. You don't want Cody to lay mines everywhere. But yeah, I really question his choice of composition there. If you had pure Vulture, say, you can see he would just overwhelm his opponent's Vulture count. If you had pure tank, he'd have more to kind of sit back and blast the Vultures because they even got close.
Yeah, during all that action, we did see another big divergence in strategies. Cody going for the Starport, working on Wraith production, you know, just trying to be annoying, going to have something that can force anti-air to happen, but Sherman already got their arm race, so they're going to be able to start working on weapon upgrades, or at least just produce Goliaths pretty quickly.
I would say it's very early for weapon upgrades here, because +1 doesn't do anything, remember. The Wraith is a very common response to 2-fac here. It's a good way to counter and definitely get some damage on. I think Sherman that's a perfectly even Vulture fight, huh? That Wraith declines to help out. Got other things to do.
And there's more Vultures. Cody doesn't need that Wraith. That Wraith want to move across and start putting some damage on, which we can see there's not really any anti-air on the way, even not making any Goliaths out of those factories. So while it would be very slow, a little bit of damage will come this way, which, given that you had the faster CC and, you know, defended that push from Sherman doing pretty easily here, I think you're not in a bad spot. This barracks is also going to burn down. That's not insignificant.
Ooh, that honestly is a far bigger deal than anything the Wraith's doing right now. The thing is, you know, your armor is already finished, and Goliaths don't take that long. So this is really a very minor, you know, harass going down for Cody. The main value you're going to get out of these Wraiths is a bit later using them to fight in the tank lines. And I think both players are perfectly aware of that. You might as well try and get something. Look, the Goliath's already out. This Wraith just has to run away. It got 1 SCV, so literally less value than that barracks. Oh, well, it's still trying. I don't know about this, because if you lose this, it's definitely not worth... Oh my god, target. He needs to spread these Goliaths. You don't want to send them both to one location. You send one to each mineral line, then the Wraiths can't do anything. Well, if he shoots... Oh my gosh! I can't believe Cody's risking the Wraith like this, because it's a lot of money lost if you just lose it like that.
Oh, look at this in the bottom, though. This 6 HP SCP is going to save the barracks. The Wraiths could easily stop that, but if you're not predicting it to happen, that is just hilarious. You're like, oh, I got him. But, you know, you go in there.
Like I was saying, it would have been a far bigger deal than any SCVs that died there, because really those Wraiths didn't do much. But losing the barracks at this critical moment, when we can see Shroomdoom try to go up to his 5 factories, that would have been actually huge. So, great save there. And the Wraith's coming to look for it now, I believe. I'm intrigued that Cody's leaving one to harass. That is not normally what you see here, because you just fly in, there happens to be a Goliath there, you take so much damage every time, it's so risky, whereas using them for vision in the tank battles is a lot better. Now, Shroomdoom's been able to lay a lot of mines here. I was going to say before, I thought it was a mistake that he kept engaging with his vultures right at Cody's base, when he could have just maintained map control and let a lot of mines, which he's able to do now anyway. Oh my gosh, this race. Shroomdoom just needs to leave a Goliath here. I don't know why he's so insistent on not having a Goliath in the middle line. You just need to leave that there until they're not going to try again. Just one though, you don't need both. As I'm sure you know, Saetzero, one Goliath kills like 4 Wraiths or something.
I mean, one of any anti-air kills like a billion.
I do not choose the map pools each week. Excuse me, Magic Bullet.
How bad is the map pool that Magic Bullet's complaining about, or is Magic Bullet just being a complainer?
Magic Bullet, I have no say in the map pool each week whatsoever. I assure you. Shut up, Cold Warp Gates. Well, about anti-air and Wraiths, I think one Wraith can beat 3 Marines if you micro it really hard. So there you go.
Yeah, that's not exactly what you're looking at for a tech unit, but man, with all these mines over here, Cody only had these Wraiths kind of on the map here. It's actually kind of a strong force we're seeing from Sherman starting to move out onto the map, and with mines covering the next base here, I think Cody wants to feel comfortable, has to burn a lot of scans trying to clear out some of these mines, but going into high ground soon, Sherman positioning looking pretty good.
Yeah, this is going to be a good spot for Shroom. If you can secure this high ground, it's actually a very dangerous spot. Although it looks like he's trying to push forward. Okay, no, he does pull back. I was going to say, I think it would be a mistake to try and engage down here. You just maintain this ramp, and it's actually such a brutal position for Cody here. But look at this. These Wraiths going to come in and harass again. And once again, I'd say Shroom neglecting to leave anything to defend. I feel like you just need to make 1 or 2 more Goliaths, especially when you see your opponent's made 3 Wraiths here. If they made a start and just made 1, like you're just going, okay, whatever, I'll get like a Goliath. But we can see he's made 3, and Shroom really not respecting the threat of harass here. Really trying to cut on the Goliath numbers, which is going to be a mistake here. I can't believe actual effective harass is going to go down here. Also, I'd like to see Goliath range if you see this many Wraiths as well. Because you know,
these vultures up on the top side getting a little zealous here. They don't want to engage with these tanks too much, but if these mines can get some good hits, this could be pretty big here.
Oh no, it did not. It looked like it would go up, but the tanks are alone. What's he waiting for? I think he's microing against the Wraiths right now. Oh man, and these vultures are going to get picked off. Pretty bad trade for Shroom there while these Wraiths are distracting him. Cody getting a lot of value out of these Wraiths, both material and mental. And he's continuing to pick off SCVs as well. Shroomdoom's production on slacking as well, but I gotta say Cody's is too, so both not doing perfectly on that count. Finally, a Goliath comes out to walk those off. And I think, yeah, an eBay's on the way now as well, which you typically get after your 3rd base at the latest. But the thing is, Shroomdoom still has a very superior map position here in this ramp. All these mines needs to pull back from those. Oh, and there's no anti-air here whatsoever. 4 Wraiths now. And, like, Shroomdoom did not send any Goliaths to this force. Attack falls, that's absolutely huge. Wraiths pull back because they know the Goliath's coming. Oh, or do they? Well, I was saying, 1 Goliath versus 4 Wraiths, all the Wraiths don't even want to try it.
Well, they got a +1 now, so that's it. You could say +1 doesn't really matter, but I think it matters against Wraiths, right? That definitely makes it
yeah, that's true. That's true. But it's not like the Goliath wasn't going to win the matchup anyway.
I mean, for a while, though, like, this harassment, it was doing a decent little job, but it definitely opened up the window here. You can see that supply really kind of getting out of hand for Cody as they secure that 3rd base.
Shroom's going to hit mines in the bottom left. Okay, no, he's going to take him out. Fair enough. There's a lot of vultures there. I shouldn't stress too much. Yeah, but now Shroom can get the turrets. Hopefully that'll slow down this harass at least a little bit. We can see his 3 SCVs behind and a significant supply lead for Cody right now. Like I already said, though, Shroom does have the far superior position on the map. And to bust out of the kind of his side of the map, Cody does have to be inefficient, and that can equalize the supplies a little bit. Did Shroom still not get Goliath range? I'm sad.
I'm not sure as far as the upgrades go. I am surprised, though, given that you've been doing such a good job with these Wraiths, even with such a low commitment, that we're not seeing an attempt at doing drops. Like, the anti-air hasn't been great, so drops should be pretty good here to at least pull your opponent maybe out of his position, force things to kind of retreat.
Nice pick off of that Goliath there by Cody, and he's going to try and come and harass here. There is another Goliath left. Oh, you don't want to fight that. No, you need to get out of there. Well, loses a Wraith for it, so not so good. So we see Cloak instead from Cody. You have a point that you can go into dropships, but I feel like you invest the gas into Wraiths. sometimes it's even better to just have like more wraiths, so then they can do more damage and actually pick stuff off, which is what he's doing, and so far it's working out beautifully. The thing is, if you go for drop here, your opponent already like is kind of, you know, expecting units to come from the air. They have anti-air here and there. Oh, look at this, a big bust coming up from Cody. He's going to move forward with vultures and tanks here, and I don't think Shroom has enough to maintain this position. Oh, at the same time, Rake's hitting these tanks unopposed. The Light's getting baited forward. They're going to get taken out by Cody's tanks here. Really great engage there for Cody, going very wrong for Shroom. But he does have some mind to slow this down. Needs to get some more units in position. Finally, they're coming up here.
Yeah, good moves from Cody, though. Just kind of try to fight this back, try to weaken this position that Doom has, but still hasn't managed to get into that fat high ground right by the natural. But clearing out a lane over here, which, if you can kind of get control of this area, like that puts that third base of Doom under threat, right? That you can get vultures out in there, maybe make some tanks.
Well, even worse than that, if he can cut off Shroom going to the left here, he has nowhere else to go. He can try and take the bottom right, I suppose, but looks like what he's going to try and do anyway. But yeah, if you can cut him off, you have him really hemmed in there, you can take way more bases. And look at this. He's continuing to push forward with the vision here. And crushing all resistance. Cody might push through and end the game at this rate. There's not much to stop him from getting in a critical position right here.
I mean, is there a threat of a counter push? Because Doom still has the 5 tanks and a bunch of collides on the bottom side. If you push really far forward in the middle, like, is that like a situation you want to kind of put yourself into, or are you trying to avoid?
That's definitely a position you want to take, but look how much defense Cody has here. There's no way Doom can come in there. Like, if he has like the most technically perfect attack ever, he might do it with like 1 tank left over, and then all the units at the rally of Cody just aim move and kill it. So there's no way he can pull that off. He definitely wants to do that, but it can't be happening. I mean, Shroom just has so little army right now. I can't find any units. I'm looking all around the map. There's 2 tanks at the third not doing much, which is something, but that's about all he has on the map other than these units in the low high ground pod.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Doom, it feels like they've had a factory advantage for quite some time, but still just not be able to kind of catch up in that supply. Still been kind of consistently behind 20 for the past while both players are working on their workers, got their 3 bases up. So Cody's really trying to put pressure on this north side.
This is the issue. This is the issue. How is Doom ever going to bust this location? Like, he needs drops or wraiths or something, but of course, Cody has so many wraiths. Well, actually, did they all die? Something I can't find them now. Where are they?
A lot of them died. I don't know if they all died, but definitely a lot of them.
Oh, and then engage. Yeah, I thought there were 2 left. Okay, I guess he's down to 1. Never mind.
There's one in the middle of the map, but that's all I see.
Yeah, I think that's the last one.
Oh, no, just 2. One right by each other.
Where's the other one?
North and south of each other.
Oh, okay, yeah. It was kind of camouflaged on the dirt. You know, it's got that same color.
Yeah, this light pink, light yellow Easter color is a little hard to see what's going on whenever these colors.
Yeah, the pastel colors. But yeah, if you look at the map right now, you can see it is pretty neatly cut in half. But Cody does have more bases in his area of the map, even if, like, you know, in terms of actual surface area, Shroom technically has more. Cody has a better base because he has the double gas here. So it's up to Shroom to make something happen. That cloaked Wraith still getting lots of value. Once again, there is no Goliath range, really not able to punish those Wraiths at all, and Cody's breaking through. Shroom's really last advantageous position here. Only 2 tanks left. Look how many tanks Shroom has on the low ground. He is going to absolutely break this, and Shroom forced to retreat. He can lay some mines to slow things down once again. That's all he can do. Honestly, you can see Shroom with a huge gas bank. I feel like he needed more shops earlier. He is producing 4 tanks at a time and dropships now, so he will cut down on that eventually, but as we can see, he's losing position because he didn't have the tanks he needed before.
Yeah, I'm actually also a little bit surprised Doom was the first one to the armory, but Cody's going to hit that +2 weapons really soon here. That's actually a big deal in these fights. That's what you're really looking for when you get these upgrades. Start putting real pressure on with your tanks. So if Cody keeps pushing forward and keeps getting these good positions, like, it's going to be so hard for Doom to repel him.
That is a confusing thing in TVT. You get the armory fairly early because you need Goliath. Well, hang on. Cody coming forward again. And again, there's not that much on Shroom to oppose him. There's a few tanks. A lot of more vultures for Shroom. But they are just getting like almost one shot here. And the tanks from Shroom sitting back are trying to get their value, but they're just so outnumbered. Cody continuing to push forward. Oh my gosh, 1 left. One's got 3 kills. Okay, vultures coming down the bottom side as well. There's a couple of tanks for this low ground base from Shroom. And we might get to see what I was talking about, where, you know, you can set up a high ground defense on these bases. It's good, but it's just not really unbreakable unless you have obviously a lot more tanks than 2 there. And this base of Shroom's going to be surrounded, unable to be reinforced, except maybe by a drop. And Shroom is getting into the dropships here. Look how many tanks Cody has there, though. Right, well, since nothing's happening, I'm going to go back to my talk on armories that no one wants to hear. So, you get the armory pretty early to get the Goliath, but you don't want to get +1 because the early game is pretty tight in terms of what money you're spending, and you want to get up on more factories sooner as well. So you can't really justify that expense because, it doesn't really do anything. You only need +2. So you time it so theoretically your science facility is finished by the time +1 is done. And so even though Shroom got the armory first, he didn't use it for longer, which isn't a mistake at all. It's just kind of how it was doing it.
He just didn't keep going with the +2. Is kind of the problem with all these SEVs. Yeah. Couple of them.
Well, it only comes a couple. They aren't probes, so they can kind of survive a little longer. Okay, Shroom is going to be able to reinforce this bottom area a bit more. Oh, as long as his mines would take him out. Yeah, that's fine. So this is going to be a stronger position. He can take that bottom rightmost base as well. Oh, he's pulling those back. I'm surprised. I really thought he would siege up there and hold that spot, because then he has a couple bases ignored. But look at this. Cody realizes he's out of position and moves forward immediately. Now, Shroom actually anticipated this and came back right away as well, despite what I thought he might want to... I would have lost here. And Cody's trying to push through this low ground. Even though his tank count is far superior, it's very hard to make this happen. I don't think this is going to work out. Although Shroom's tank's rallying into range without siege and getting destroyed. Cody with +2 here has a huge advantage, but nonetheless, low ground absolutely decimates his forces, equalizing the supply by a large amount. More vultures bleeding though. That brings the supply a bit back more into Cody's favor.
Yeah, the E-base giving a lot of good vision for sure. Doom. Its defense in this middle of the map is actually looking at pretty good so far, but I don't know. Like Cody still managed to get some kind of value out of here. It does clear out some room. You can see Vulture move to the bottom side, maybe an attempt to kind of get something done there.
Never mind those vultures. Look, in Doom's natural. He's got the dropships. What's he going to do with them? He has a lot of offensive power with these 4 dropships. Maybe he could bust the 12 o'clock or fly all the way across to this 9 o'clock base. Either option looking really strong right now. Because, well, okay, more SCVs are dying, but other than that, Shroom's positions are all fairly secure right now, so he doesn't worry about defense over much at this time. It would be good if he could secure this bottom right, and he is with vultures. Man, this dropship's just sitting here. I'd love to see him actually do something with it. See, this is an issue I've seen a lot of times with people going dropships, is, yeah, you can try and be sneaky and suddenly appear with a drone drop in your opponent's main. That is one strategy. But if you're not doing that, I feel like you just want to start using it even from when you have the first dropship. I think the advantage you get outweighs the surprise in most cases. And look, he's going to go to this 12 o'clock now. I don't know if he has quite enough here. He needs to attack with a ground force simultaneously if he wants to break that, but no, that's not what he's doing. He's going to turn south, but he did let Cody see them, and Cody immediately moving all his forces up here. I don't think Shroom's going to get anything done right here.
Ooh, a couple Wraiths are coming through too. This is going to be big.
Complete disaster. Yeah, this... I have to question the decision making here of how he kind of flew that direction, and all that stuff is going to get absolutely annihilated. He targets some SCVs, but that's it. It's all gone already. Those units never came back. Damn.
Yeah, so I mean, we got into the point of this game where every base has been taken. Everyone's trying to set up their battle lines. What are you trying to do at this point here? Like, you see Cody using the race, trying to get some of these tanks. I vision you can just buy them a little more real estate, but like, how do you actually put a big siege on one of these kind of bases, like that big kind of commitment attack that really kind of can open this game up? Like, how do you feel?
Cody's about to show you how. You just have, if you're like Cody in this game, you have always had an advantage. You know you just have more units, especially after that drop failed. No scan going down, by the way. Okay, there it goes. No Goliath range still. I'm very mad at him not having Goliath range, but nonetheless, he killed a bunch of Wraiths there. Yeah, if you feel like you have the advantage, you can just kind of force a bunch of units in whichever location looks weak. Because at the moment, not all the locations that could be pushed are fortified. I would say the big weak point is the bottom right. So I'm kind of surprised Cody's coming in here where all these units are. Definitely he's not going to break this if these tanks siege, which they're getting dangerously close to getting shot. Oh my god, I hope Shroom pulls those back and sieges them. Oh no, he's going to get baited in. This is really bad for Shroom. Okay, he does pull them back. Needs a scan and still needs Goliath range.
Yeah, you're just going to keep saying it, and that's fine. Understandable. We do see more
10 years from now, I'll be like, oh, Shroom, my boy, did you research Goliath range by any chance? No, I thought not. But yeah, okay. The thing is, Cody can attack from 2 sides here, and actually I think he probably could bust this fairly easily if he did a well-coordinated attack. Because it looks like Shroom has a bit, but you look at the actual tank count, Cody has like more than 3 times the tanks Shroom has there. And after their initial volley, which will do extreme damage, like it kind of doesn't even really matter after that. These Wraiths, unfortunately, though, do get baited right into the Goliaths, the Valkyries, and take a lot of damage there. Now, Shroom trying to go Battle Cruiser. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I feel like he really needs to secure the bottom right better before he thinks about doing that, because Battle Cruiser only really works out when everything is totally locked down. And there's a bunch of Wraiths out as well, so it's not like the Battle Cruiser is going to be able to just like fight everything with no contest.
I mean, isn't this like the good time though? As the armies are maxed out, this like is the time you need to get everything set up, working your +1 weapons, like kind of get all the tech developed, even like so you can go to it later. If you want
those
to.
Valkyries kill all the Wraiths. That's a huge win for Shroom there. Yeah, you're not wrong that like you don't want to do it before you have like a large amount of ground army, but at the same time, I feel like not every location is totally locked down. The time you really want to go battle cruisers when it's like there's nowhere that looks good to attack. Whereas I keep saying it, the bottom right is completely vulnerable right now, just neither player realizing it. So if both players have a blind spot for that for the rest of this game, then yeah, sure, battle cruisers were a fine choice. It's just that I'm kind of worried. Shroom is so behind on bases though. I don't think he can even win with battle cruisers anyway. And look at this, Cody's going to come in here now. And see, imagine if instead of getting those battle cruisers, he invests in a bunch more ground army that he'd been able to reinforce here. Now, he does have a lot in the center. Looks like he's going to try and bring it all down. Ooh, some of it going in the middle and dying to all these tanks Cody has there. And as we can see, 2 tanks here is not going to be enough to defend, but Shroom coming with the reinforcements. Oh my gosh, half this army is going on the low ground in the middle of the map and getting obliterated. Valkyrie's providing vision, if nothing else, so, and they are pretty tanky, so that's actually not that bad. Again, and now Shroom has enough units here, I think it's fine, but now the center is open as well. Oh man, these units kind of getting a bit far forward here. Still doesn't have Goliath range.
It definitely feels hard to tell who's really going to get the better end of this, because like both sides are trading pretty well here. Cody does end up getting at least a supply lead, but like he has a lot of tanks in the center area, but I feel like you're kind of losing focus on some of the other areas here. If you moved into the top area right now, there's not that many tanks. These fans are going to see that. This could be an opportunity.
That's huge. That's absolutely huge, because he's going to break through here now. Because, yeah, what's going to stop this? I don't know why he pulled back a little bit. Where's he going?
Well,
Where are you going?
He saw the Valkyries coming. He's respecting the Valkyries.
Well, you could spread and take those on, to be honest. I think would be fine. Because you really want to kill those tanks. Like, I think the move there, you just split the race, you take on the Valkyries and go back to work. Because this location is very key. And I'm quite shocked that Cody doesn't just unseat an attack, having seen how little is there. Like, even with these extra tanks, it does not mean anything. You see how many tanks Cody has in that location? It's actually insane.
Yeah. Are you a little surprised that we're actually seeing Shroom go into Wraith production instead of the Valkyries we were assuming?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense because you don't think he really has time to build up the battle cruisers. I think it makes a lot more sense than battle cruisers. Again, because he's behind on money, he needs to make something happen. Whereas battle cruisers are like the exact opposite of that. You're sitting there, you're happy with where you are, and you just need a way to kill them eventually. So you start getting your Yamas and stuff. Now Cody is going to his own battle cruisers. I mean, if Shroom has heaps of Wraiths, he can sort of counter that. You know, Wraiths aren't as good as battle cruisers necessarily, but if you just have enough of them, they build quicker. You know, you don't have to make this big tech investment. You can actually overwhelm the battle cruisers pretty easily. But look at this. Turrets are the hard counter to Wraiths. That's the issue.
I feel like I'm surprised there was no armor upgrades, because that would help out so much with these Wraiths picking off your tanks. That
Well,
so
it's
much
not
time,
going to be... It's not going to be a ground-to-air battle, and the thing is, they're only picking off the... Oh my god, by the way, Shroom are losing so many
it's just buying you time. Like, it buys you time to get in position or retreat if you want to, like, wherever you're feeling.
It's not going to make a big difference, because most of the time, if Wraiths are hitting tanks, it's because the tanks have nothing to defend them. It's not like, oh, there's 2 Goliaths there, but I'm going to hit these tanks anyway, and I'll get damage while I'm taking damage. It's more like, well, like this. There's literally nothing to defend, so you go start picking them off. So it's not really a big deal if it takes slightly longer. The thing is, if you're going to make mass Wraith and you're trying to fight that with Goliath, yeah, you're right. But if you're just harassing with Wraiths like Cody's been doing, I don't think it really is worth the money. But look at this. The tables have turned. Shroom coming in, taking out those air units. But I mean, he's not really getting enough out of this. He's barely holding on to this base. And make no mistake, if he loses this base, he does lose the game 100%.
Even with these banks built up at this point, losing a base is that critical?
Oh, absolutely. Because you will run out of gas. It looks good now, but you will run out of gas very quickly once trades start happening. The thing is, because the map's been locked down, all they're really making is these few air units. But as like battle cruisers come out, as they're coming out, the game will loosen up and you'll start trading a lot more. Oh man, and he's losing a lot of Wraiths already as is. The thing is, his gas is already lost at this bottom right. He can't take that. He needs to get rid of those tanks down there. I would like to see one dropship. He could start dropping tanks on the high ground, then suddenly blow up all those tanks on the high ground would be a great move. But alas, we don't see that.
I'm actually surprised we're not seeing Cody take the gas in the top left. Like one's not fully centered, one's not taking it all. And
yeah,
I figured that'd be the big thing about that base. I know the way he expanded towards that 12 o'clock, he really secured that up, so it's basically a free base to hold it. But not utilizing the double gas there, where he started to really build up kind of an imbalanced money bank, right? So it's a little surprising.
Okay, scans and saves the battle cruisers, by the way. I don't know if he scanned earlier. He probably did. There's a lot of scans in TVT. but he knows for sure now. Now, Shroom is making his own battle cruisers now. He's not going to try and counter a race, which in the long term is probably the right move. But this gas is about to die as soon as Cody has vision. Like, that's a very brave gas. Man, Shroom's getting mined out as well. His third finally money out. So it's only going to be these bottom two bases now. And if he loses those, his mineral income is cut off as well. Looks like he wants to move forward for a bust. But I don't think he has anywhere near enough. With these tanks on the high ground on the left side here, I don't think there's any way Shroom is going to succeed in the attack.
I mean, Cody has a lot of tanks committed to the top and to like that upper middle pass. So maybe if this is your chance, this probably is the way you want to go. Just does he have the muscle?
Yeah, I guess you could say it's like the right decision, but for the wrong reasons. No, sorry, the wrong decision for the right reasons. Like, it makes sense this is the location you want to attack. Well, it's going better than I would have thought. He's going to clear off those tanks hitting the gas. He moves in just out of range of those high ground tanks. So actually, I guess Shroom, knows better than me in that attack. I would not have attempted that if I had perfect vision.
I mean, they're still got the worst end of that. The supply definitely kind of favoring Cody again. But hey, also, if you're just trying to clear supply, you can see battle cruisers now in production. Maybe just trying to mix up the unit comp.
Anytime you gain position, it's totally worth it to lose supply for that. Look at this, Cody sacrificing a whole bunch of SCVs here, by the way. Actually might be able to take out a tank or two if they're lucky. The Wraiths picking off tanks here and there as well again. So, Shroom getting pretty decent value out of these handfuls. Threats built on this tank line just in case the BCs come and try and pew them down, which actually they're coming to do right now, and there's no anti-air whatsoever, so Cody might break through now. These few Wraiths, again, trying to get what value they can. Unfortunately, Shroom only has 2 battle cruisers when Cody already has like 7 here. So this is gonna be pretty brutal for Shroom. I don't think he can hold on to this base here. Will he hold on even to the other one? This might be the decisive move. If Cody can break both of these, once he blows this up, he can move forward with his tanks and even maybe build some turrets so the Wraiths can't do anything. And that might be it for this game.
I actually really like that Cody did that attack. Didn't use any Yamatos on any of the tanks that he knew he can clear out. He's saving them for whatever reinforcements are going to come try to fight and stop this army.
Absolutely. Although I am surprised he's not trying to move forward to the other base as well, because absolutely nothing there. And I mean, you could say he doesn't know that, but this is TBT. You got scans. GG. Cody takes it. Cody really had the advantage all of that game. Not hugely, but he just kind of was always a bit in the lead.
I mean, what's something particularly you wish Shroom did differently then? Because compared to all the other mirrors, it is so much more different to figure out like how behind is somebody, how close is this game? Because you look at supplies, it's like, oh, they got each half of the bases on the map. It looks pretty even, but like you're saying, there's definitely spots where
it seemed to me that Shroom was consistently having units like in the wrong place, like wandering into enemy tank lines. Not in the wrong position per se, but just like when they're in an area, he wouldn't deliberately set them up and like keep them safe. Whereas Cody always like lined up his tank lines really well. I didn't see any like wasteful units wandering into enemy tank lines, but I feel like Shroom was doing that for like most of the game.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully we'll see a different kind of build variation because we got a 3-player map now. You can't just slice this one up.
All right, in the 12 o'clock, in the teal, we have Stream of Doom, and the bottom right in the blue, we have Cody currently up 1 game in this best of 3. Cody for 4 Pool Lifeguards, Stream of Doom for United New Directorate. All right, so yes, here on Silford, like you say. Well, the thing is, if you can take both high grounds and your opponent can take the other main, it still kind of evens out. And the fake high grounds, of course, are a factor. So I don't know. Sometimes it is sort of split, but the one player generally does have the advantage. You're right about that. And honestly, this would have been a much better map for 2FAC in my opinion, but it's just me.
Yeah, I feel like though, since there's less ramps to kind of defend things, and if you're the player going for the double mains, everything's a little bit further out. I think it's harder to consolidate your defense against like a really good dedicated push. So
true, very true.
So like, you know the matchup way better than I do. It's like I feel like if you're going to be the guy trying to go for the double mains or take some of these outer ring kind of expansions, I want you to go air as well because just to give you the mobility to kind of slow things down.
Well, definitely, dropships can be killer here. Excuse me, because if you look at the layout of the map, where you're pushing with your ground army, if you're getting close to your opponent's base, will get right next to the cliff that leads into their main. So if your ground army gets to that point, you can just drop right into their main from there. So drops can be absolutely deadly here. Unlike Eclipse, where I'd say the main is pretty well protected on all sides, you'll have bases, so you'll at least have vision, if nothing else. So Yeah, but we're probably going to see more dropship play. And honestly, last game, I feel like the dropship play could have been good for Shroom. It's just like after you lose all those, like if you didn't attack, it is kind of like, well, do I really want to start building dropships again and wait like 5 minutes, or I want to start making race or something else?
Well, we are seeing gas openings from both players again. I know I've always said, like, but what about gases expand? You just go to a tirade about how much position you give up. So after seeing that last game, I wouldn't expect them to do it in this one.
I would have said it's like pretty much even, but maybe slightly worse. I don't hate it, just never do it myself because I think it's just not as good. Look, it's like theoretically just as good as going factory, but it's like you have to do so much right compared to doing factory. It's kind of like, well, why don't you just go factory expand?
Well, there might be a little bit of scouting. Ooh, wait, no, is Cody just a maniac? What is this scouting path? Looking for a proxy, I guess, after seeing that last game. So I respect, like, you know, we don't see that very often in CPL, actually, like, really looking for proxies at all. And, you know, 3-player map, but, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to do it. Whyimnoob is going to get the scouting advantage, though, get right in the base, but it's looking pretty even between the 2 players so far.
Yeah, it's surprising. I suppose because Whyimnoob 2-fec last game, Cody's like, alright, what are you up to here? So yeah, I don't dislike it. Now, it looks like Whyimnoob is not going to go for 2-fac again, by the way. And not like Cody's going to do it either. So we are going to go into expansions this time.
I mean, we saw that last game, though. Once the scout was sure to not get in the mix, that he didn't care about it. And we see Cody again kind of cutting Marines a little bit.
Yeah.
Not recklessly, but, you know, just trying to edge out everything they possibly can here. And
well, here's the thing. In TVT, you really want to make 0 Marines, but you've got to deal with an SCV. And but that's the thing. If you want to put on pressure early, that is an option. It's something you can make. Wait, who says Neblime got the wrong replays? Excuse me?
No, that's a joke from, like, half hour ago. Like,
oh, right.
You are so enticed by the TVT, you haven't looked at chat in ages.
Wow, I'm that behind? Damn. I'm just reading that like, wait, what are we hosting?
No, they were talking about,
once again, gets right in there from Cody, by the way. Are you saying they're talking about what?
No, they were making a joke early on because they're like, man, these tier 3 players are real good. So, this is a mostly tier 3 night, but not this series here. And man, if tier 3 was this good, I'm done with CPL. I'm never doing anything. The job
Whyimnoob idling his second factory, by the way. I'm not sure what's going on with that. He throws down the second one pretty fast, but we see Cody got right into the machine shop and got his second factory. Oh, he's going into Goliath attack. So Whyimnoob's going to try and attack with many Goliaths on 2 bases here, and try and break Cody. Now, the game can end very quickly one way or another in this scenario. Cody needs tanks here, and he does have a machine shop, but going to that third factory suggests it's going to be vultures. So he's going to have to rely on like counterattacks and laying mines here, but Goliath's pretty good against mines, so honestly this looks kind of good for Shroom. He's going to be able to put on a lot of pressure here, and I'm not really sure how Cody's going to be able to defend this.
Well, I mean, when the barracks gets there, you have enough factories as Cody right now where you feel pretty comfortable. It's not like you're gonna not be able to scout what's going on here. So I like that armor position pretty far away. You have to go in pretty far to see what's going on here. But I think even just not seeing machine shops, that's enough of a tell, right?
No, not at all, because then it looks like Goliath. Oh, but 0 machine shops whatsoever. Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
If he has 1, then you're like it could be vultures. But yeah, you might be right about that. And he'll also just see the Goliaths coming out, right? And he can just sit over this Mutalisk spot, I guess you'd call it, and see everything. So yeah,
that 12 o'clock base has so many Mutalisk spots. I love this base. Mutalisk just be like any angle they want to attack from. It's fantastic.
Well, I'm glad you can't make Mutalisk in TVT then. So yeah, he sees them come out right away. But this should prompt him to go into tank production or either just try and lay a lot of mines. I'm not really sure what Cody's preferred response is. He did get Vulture speed already. It's almost done, so I assume he just let that finish. But he has enough Vultures, I think, that if Whyimnoob moves out, he'll just immediately counter.
He sees that there is another factory on the way, and, gonna be able to kill off these barracks pretty soon. Yeah, no shop.
Until you see a shop, like you say, you know it's gonna be Goliaths. And look, mine's on the way. So, Cody's just gonna try and go hard into Vultures here and deal with this. As long as you lay your mines densely enough, I think it should work. Because honestly, he seems to have a pretty large Vulture count already, and Whyimnoob not with that many Goliaths. Now, losing the barracks a bit painful there. I didn't see Cody restarting it just yet. He got the academy down just before it died, though, which is nice. And look, it's a bit of a mistake from Whyimnoob moving out with those Vultures, getting them picked off without the Goliath support. Vulture versus Vulture is very bad when you have fewer Vultures. But okay, Cody pulls back. He needs to move to the side and backstab, though. Look how wide open Whyimnoob's base is here. He just needs to go around the left, I think. And like he doesn't really care if the Goliaths come all the way across to his base because you just be killing all of each other's SCVs and like theoretically it evens out. But look at this, he's going to try and defend. I don't like this at all. I really think he should have backstabbed, and now these vultures cannot win in a straight up fight. They have to try and lay mines or something sneaky. They're going to lay the mines here. It's a matter of if Shroom can micro them down, and they're very sparsely spread, so I don't think these Goliaths can have any difficulty with these mines at all so far. Okay, that's a bit better there. Oh, that mine needs to target that. Okay, it does. Oh, is the mine targeting going to be good? Okay, that one gets targeted down as well. Yeah, a slaughter. Oh, okay, that one goes off. But Shroom's still pushing forward. Oh, that's a huge mine hit. Missed micro from Shroom doing there. Really tried to go in super fast. I'm not really sure why. When he could have slowed down and kind of picked off these mines easily by inching forward. But now that huge amount of Goliaths got blown up. He's back on the defensive, in fact. And Cody with the Vulture upgrades actually has a huge advantage here, as long as he won't be dying at his base, which I don't think he will be. Well, he does have a tank out, but no siege mode yet, and siege mode is really what you need to stop these Goliaths.
Yeah, I think Cody was just trying to buy time earlier until mines are actually finished, you know, just trying to maneuver around. It's like, Goliath,
well, that's a good way to buy time, because you just you force them to go back, or else they lose all their SCVs.
Well, maybe just not willing to buy into the, but what if we just keep attacking, we just trade a whole bunch of stuff, which, yeah, Vulture should like that. Oh.
This is what I'm talking about. I feel like Shroom consistently is like having more units running in and dying, you know, when they really should not be attacking at all, you know what I mean? All that mine hit too. Man, this is brutal for Shroom right now. You're gonna get a lot of damage down, because these Goliaths just can't keep up. Oh my gosh. Every SCV that falls is huge here. Already 6 ahead for Cody. Oh my gosh. They're still not down. Someone stop them. Oh my gosh. Okay. 28 to 37 SCVs. That's pretty brutal. And it's not like Shroom has any good position on the map. He doesn't even have a machine shop still. There's no upgrades whatsoever. Cody's siege mode is done. He has both his Vulture upgrades. I'm trying to find a way that this is any good thing going on for Shroom, but there is just not. And these Goliaths rallying out one at a time, running into mines once again. Oh my gosh.
Try and do the best you can with the micro, but that wasn't the time.
No, that is not micro, my friend. That is just A moving across the map. You really need to slow down and, like, you know, stutter step in full position. Look at this. These Vultures are just going to run back in the back as soon as they know the Goliaths are out. This is the issue here. And now that siege mode's up, he can't possibly do any damage to Cody either. Even Cody has taken his third straight up. Cody's in a really decisive position here. Unfortunately, just not aware that his opponent is defenseless to run in with those Vultures. Look at that. That siege mode hit, and you're just like, oh no. Oh no. And look at that. Immediately, Cody runs into the Vultures in response, knowing that the Goliaths are out. And this is going to do so much damage again. Oh my gosh.
I mean, even if this didn't do the big damage, just keep buying time here. You're starting your third base. You're ahead on tech pretty significantly. Finally, we do see Starport and a couple machine shops, so Shroom will have more options moving forward. But they've taken so much damage already in this game, and it's not looking like it's going to end anytime soon. It's brutal.
Yeah, man, here's the thing though. He sees the Wraith now, but if he hadn't seen that, it's kind of good because when your opponent's making Goliaths, you don't just want to make like less Goliaths than them, right? So you don't tend to make any. So that could have been a good option, but now that he's seen it, Goliath range on the way. I don't see any Goliaths themselves yet, but I'm sure it won't be long. And I don't think Cody's going to take too much damage in this. Unsieges, which may be a bad time to do so. I don't know if he wants to push forward into this. Well, we'll see what he does. I really want to see Cody siege up, honestly. If he gets caught on siege, it's one of the ways it could go bad. But he does have a pretty good army here, and looks like he's going to be able to run forward and target down the opponent's tanks here. These lay some mines.
There's just too many tanks here, I think, right?
But what are Cody's Vultures doing? They just ran to like the other side of the army rather than laying mines where they could actually hit anything. So that engage kind of going better than I thought for Shroom. Honestly, I think Cody could have just sieged up as well. As soon as he was in range, it probably would have been better as well. It's kind of hard because in these early game engages, sometimes unsieging is better. But in that case, I think Cody definitely could have sieged. Now this Wraith gonna pick away. Cody does like keep the Vultures alive, so he still has the map control here. That just shows you how bad I thought that engage would go for Shroom. Even though Cody won, I'm like, wow, that went pretty good for Shroom, because Cody really just had a better army. But this Wraith is still doing its work, at least making that tank not be in the fight. I don't know if it's going to die. Just hold position, man.
That's getting repaired. It's going to be fine.
Goliath's finally out here. And Goliath range just about to finish up. Oh, in fact, I think it just did. So, yeah. No, that Wraith's probably going to die if he doesn't run right now. No, that Wraith's dead. Goodbye. Oh, tank running into mines here for Shroom. Oh, that's huge. Taking so much damage already. Needs to get an SCV out there to repair that. And we see Shroom with no third base. He's just trying to push hard with this starport, trying to make something happen. Finally seeing the SCV out. Vultures are still hanging around absolutely everywhere. denying any expand from going down. And I don't think there's any way Shroom's going to bust this third here. It's just a matter of bringing the lives up for Cody, which I think he will do.
Yeah, I mean, I am a little surprised we're not seeing any more anti-air, like more Goliaths. We made turrets even would be, I think, okay here for Cody, because you're so ahead as far as bases go. You've been on the map. We're finally just seeing a third CC start now. You got such a big lead. You just need to make sure you, like, this is the kind of thing that doesn't do big damage to you, which I don't think the race are going to be it, but air is still something you got to worry about. Like we were saying, drops could always make a big difference. So we'll see if Shroom Doom tries something different, though. But right now, Cody's just the way they're playing it. They're not making any big mistakes. They're letting Shroom Doom make them instead.
Yeah, and so far it's working out. Once again, Shroom running into mines there. You timed that comment out perfectly, didn't you, Saetzero? Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with you for sure. He's just kind of sitting back taking spaces. Now, there's big attack coming in here from two sides, and it's only tanks here, no vultures to buffer. They're off doing something else. And so it looks like Cody's going to break through. Nice targeting from Shroom, but it's just not enough. And he does kill all those tanks. If he can get to the natural, then I think this game will end. But, man, yeah, Shroom just knows it's about to happen. GG. That makes it a 2-0.
Yeah, well done from Cody. I like the way they play, but like I think that is just something small we're seeing for Shroom and Doom. Like maybe putting themselves in kind of in bad spots, just like they feel behind. It's like, oh well, this is how you kind of dig yourself out of the hole. It's like, I don't know, Cody's positioning and their patience, so really kind of in both games was the big difference maker, I think.
I definitely think that in both games there, Cody just had the superior control a lot of the time. And it's not even a matter of doing anything fancy with micro, it's just that his units went where they needed to go, and they didn't like wander into the wrong spot. And a lot of times in that second game, Shroom had units just wandering across on their own and hitting mines when they needed to respect that the mines are on the map, like get bunched together and then move forward so they can gun them down. I mean, even at the very start there, I think Saetzero could have won if he just kind of took it slow with the mines. Anyway,
hey, I could have won. Oh man, my TVT skills. You believe in me?
Wait, did I say Saetzero? Sorry, I meant Shroom. Oh my god. No, you would have been crushed in that game.
What are you talking about, man?
But I don't think you could take over them in TVT. They're both pretty good.
I don't know, man. I can make Marines. They're real good, right?
Alright.
Alright.
So let's jump into tier 3 now, right?
Well, yeah, but just, you know, because we saw that one, that does end up finishing the tier 0 of that last one at 3-2. Cody was on not your team, so managed to even that up a little bit, right?
Imagine being on 4 full life cards.
Yeah,
well, yes, that's right.
Imagine being on the TVT Masters team and losing a TVT.
Who says the TVT Masters team? We're just doing our best out here.
No,
you know?
you're the TVT Master. It's your favorite matchup.
Oh, well, I lost in King of the Tier, remember?
Yeah.
Well, I got a TVT this week. If I lose this week, then I'll revoke the title. We'll see how we go.
Right, so we are going to move into our tier 3, though, like you're saying. We got, it's GOSU versus 2 Factory Furious. Tier 3, we're going to do the whole thing. And you're going to have to help me out on who's playing, because they both picked silly AKAs.
Yes, sure. Of course they did. You know they did already? Oh.
Yeah, I saw when I loaded up the replay. You guys, it's like, come on, man. Why are you doing this to me?
Alright. In the top right, in the Zerg, we have 2400 APM, 50 MMR, which I believe this is going to be Vint, or Vint is it? I don't know.
Vint.
Vint, thank you. And in the bottom left, in the Navy, we have, does that say Programmer? Oh, Programmer. I'm like, I don't know why I couldn't understand that. And the AKA there is going to be, what was the other one? Flipendo. No, I got it in reverse. Yep. It's Vint in the Protoss, Flipendo in the Zerg. My bad.
There you go. Alright, thanks, buddy. Now, we got a little bit of time as we go into our classic matchup, but you know there's always going to be little things. We're waiting for that overpool, see what kind of expand it is. Guys, please stop with the silly AKAs and CPL matches. Why are you doing this to us?
Yeah, it's a bit tough. But,
Ooh, hold up. Check that out.
Yo, wait a minute. Yeah, what matchup is he playing right now? Wow, you thought we'd have time to complain.
Well, no,
AKAs?
Yo, he's playing the I'm throwing zealots at you matchup. Tier 3 strategy. Remember, different world. You can't assume your opponent has that good micro.
True, I gotta get myself
a little bit off. Yeah, like this could be 2 gate Zell, which if you don't know how to deal with it, you can easily like end your career. It's so strong. Zealots are so hard to deal with.
Shorty in chat, you have no idea how strong the urge is every time to start seeing that. It's true. Now look at this. It is a Nightpool coming up. No, wait, sorry, Overpool. I always do that.
Yep.
It is an Overpool coming up. So it's probably better if you get a hatch first against this, in all honesty, because you just have more lava. And, you know, he's not sitting a drone scout just yet, so he's not going to know for a while. This could be very deadly. Where's that second gate? Well, he's doing it. What a god.
All right, so, yeah, like you're saying, if you had extra larva, that's definitely a good way to beat this, but, you know, if you're willing to build sunkens, you're willing to put yourself in a decent spot, I think you're okay. It's about picking good engagements, because you know these Zealots are going to move forward. They're going to be, like, trying to get against the wall, make things as good for them as humanly possible. A big part of this, gotta kill this probe. Huge gotta kill this probe to make that fight a lot easier, because it's worth its weight in gold for every hit it gets Berserk.
Or a drone, for that matter. Hanging around here, not trying to harass just yet. I suppose he wants to keep its shields up for now. So, with this, do you send the first Zealot across and just keep rallying constantly, or do you wait for like 3, or what do you do?
I like sending the first one across, but really, like, when I do this build, I do it on maps that have more than 2 spawns. So your opponent, you know, might not scout in time. And now we're going to see this Overlord. It wouldn't even get to the wall in time to really see what's going on, but it's not going towards the wall. So,
well, it's smart. It knows. It knows that it needs to scout the main somehow. I guess about sending the Zealot, I guess you think of it like a gate expand. You know, if your opponent's not doing 9-pull or something, you do just want to send it right away, get that pressure on.
Well, I mean, yeah, we see here, it's just 2 links being made. No pressure is going to come from the Zerg here. So, it died. That's unfortunate. Now what you're looking for, and hey, there is a drone count. It does see 2 Zealots move across the map. I don't know if it saw the third one that's way ahead of the others, but we'll see what the reaction is
from our Zerg. He has no idea. He's going for a third. Oh god, Zerg needs to use these lava in the main, but he's supply book now. Well, okay, no, he's not, because well,
hatcheries give you a little, just a little bit.
He's gonna need an Overlord in a minute. Where are these things going right now? They're just running away. Man, he needs a sunken in the main. Oh, he's getting it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that it was pressure not going into the main. Like, I guess once you get the 3, but he's going to really secure, make sure he can kill off his expansions. Zealots are going to guard the ramp instead, which guarantees damage, although you probably could have gotten a little bit more here.
Starting drone was killed. I think he really wanted to keep that alive and bring it home, but then again, how would it ever get into the main? That's the thing. If you get the natural, I think it's enough of a win that you don't mind not harassing the main. Only thing is, will you get it? This does give Zerg a lot of time. Try and build up. Nice micro there from Flipendo, keeping those Zerglings alive. Absolutely key to try and keep these lives as much as possible. Maybe you can hit these Zealots while they're targeting the hatchery. He's going to run out instead. Maybe try and intercept one. Could also be a strong move. Trying to bust down the ramp, not using the 4 links on the low ground. That is not enough links to bust that. Okay, now it is if he brings these in, but the altogether Zealot count is definitely going to be too much here. I think, oh, well, he pulls back from the ramp. Big mistake there. That gives the links a surface area, but he's going to get the hatchery. Absolutely huge. Finishes off the hatchery, even though these Zealots are going to get cleaned up.
Yeah, I mean, still, it's not a bad spot, though, but where was the follow-up that we see? Nexus has been started. It's about halfway done at this point, but, you know, still no gas being taken, no move for attack. These links still going to be able to put a little bit of threat, you know, a chance for a counterattack. These Zealots got to be very careful how to engage. And I think we do see, look at all this gas from the Zerg. If this was like link speed, or you go into the lair, you can start threatening like mutas or something, maybe like that could have been your plan to make up some of this damage. But as of right now, we see more Zealots being made, and that third is so far away at this point. But if he keeps moving forward, one Zealot puts himself in a bad spot. Don't want to throw these units away.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even now, it looks like the links will probably get the engage. I'm surprised we didn't see link speed be researched. Bit of a mistake here from Flipendo. He definitely had the money. Now, he's going to go for the hatchery now, which is fine. But I really want to see him get link speed for the next few minerals. Because Protoss has no tech now, and slow Zealots for speed links generally favors the Zerglings if you're in the open. So once you get speed, you can really deny any pressure coming out here if you make a lot of links, especially if he's going to be up on 3 hatch again. Now, more Zealots coming across to reinforce, and looks like Flipendo go back into droning. Oh, well, here we go.
Yeah, I am a little bit concerned though. If you look at the Protoss, they cut their pro production. They didn't get their cyber core right away. You see, even though they got the gas, they're not mining it. So, like, I feel like this might be the kind of game where you're like, oh, I'm used to do so much damage where it just wins the game, and it's like this put you in a good spot. But so much of the follow up was not like kept going with for the Protoss that this spot should be so much better than it currently actually is.
You're absolutely right. If you're going to take a Nexus, you do need that probe production, and he's kind of picking it up now, but definitely had missed a lot. That said, Zerg's on 11 drones right now, and still did not get link speed, which honestly, not getting link speed might cost him the game here if there's a big Zealot link fight. Now, Lair is on the way, which definitely gives you a huge advantage to get these Mutalisks out. Well, hang on, because a bit of a fight. That looks like enough Zealots, I think. The Lings kind of move through them. The Lings just taking some free hits, but okay, now they're finally going to start fighting, pull back again. These Zealots look like they want to go to the third. Now, more Lings are hatching out. There's some at the third not doing anything. Protoss is going to helpfully go and activate them with those Zealots.
Yeah, and you see cans are being warped in and being pulling probes, so if there's a threat of a counterattack, that's not going to be enough here. But it does look like Zerg's going to return, try to fight these Zealots up in the top area where they don't have a lot of area to maneuver, but if they get themselves in good spots, like I was saying, less surface area makes it a lot easier here. These Zealots still do so much damage. A couple of them fall, but a lot of Lings fall in return here. So much larva being burned on this defense, and it's still not even quite enough here.
You know, I gotta say, both players really microing very well here. You know, pulling back from fights they don't want and just like preserving their resources. So it's been nice to see. But at the same time, the macro kind of falling off a bit for both players. Like, I feel like more probes and maybe more drones could have been squeezed out as well. Nonetheless, going to clean up all those Zealots once again. And now I really am starting to worry for Protoss. Because if Zerg can just stabilize and drone up, he's in a really good position here, I think. Protoss finally getting the Stargate, though.
Yeah, I mean, we do see the lair done, but the tech hasn't been utilized. With this much gas, you better go Mutas. That's like what else are you going to use this gas on? I don't think lurkers are really going to be the thing you're looking for right now. It's going to get scouted so far ahead of time. I like this one Zealot off to the side, you know, threaten a little bit of a counterattack if you see the Zerg really committing, but the Zerg's not trying to pull forward, no soft contain, anything, keeping these Lings well out of harm's way. And it's going to give it time to get their next step. We do see a Hydra Den, which, I mean, they got the lair, so, you know, maybe it will end up being lurkers. Otherwise, just a lot of gas that's not going to be able to be utilized as much as you would like.
Yeah, hiding the Zealot on the map is a pretty high-level move. I'm impressed again by like how these players are using their units here.
Oh no! Oh no! These Zealots weren't seen. These Zealots weren't seen. Oh no!
Oh, that could do huge damage. The drones peacefully mining up at this third, have no idea what's about to happen to them. And the Lings was slacking in their duty.
The Overlord didn't see it either. Oh, this third base is going to be in so much trouble. But link speed's done. At least you can reinforce quickly. But is it going to be enough? We see that +1 is not going to be done anytime soon. But still, it's a lot of healthy Zealots. It's going to be a lot of damage. No static defense.
Oh, nice pullback. Yeah, he needs to get those drones out of there. Oh no, but more drones are coming in! Wow, those Zealots did not want to do much about that, did they? Well, I suppose they know they're going to die in here. The Ling's going to try and bust this, but it's going to be quite efficient for Protoss. Oh, those drones getting absolutely massacred. This is a heartbreak for Zerg right now. Everything seemed to be going well, and look at that, the Zealot running into the main at the same time. GG. Programmer, aka Vint, finding the weak spot after fighting back and forth.
Yeah, and I like that, you know, committing to a strategy that's like, yeah, we're probably not going to see tier 0 players doing it, but tier 3 definitely could be effective, and even with some of the follow-ups not being as clean, just that's why I like watching some of these tier 3 stuff, you know. Like, the game's going to get a little scrappy, a little bit weird, but I think a lot more players should be doing things where it's like, I bet you can't punish me for doing this. And just kind of throwing that curveball, because you can see how potent it can be.
Yeah, well, you know, a lot of the time I have my doubts about these one base, two gate strategies, because the decision making is quite difficult. But I can't say that the Vint there really like screwed up in any big way or anything. Like, I feel like he kind of knew what he was doing. Everything made sense. I mean, the Zerg as well, to an extent, you know, was controlling the Lings quite well. Just like you said, didn't catch those Zealots, and that's all it kind of took.
Okay, so I'm looking at the replays I got, and my Game 2 replay is the same as the Game 1 replay, same duration on Eclipse, so I guess they only played one game?
Is this one of these forfeits we got? Yes, a couple of these happened this week, apparently. Some people didn't play all 3 games. I don't know if that's the case or if that's just an error, though.
Well, I mean, so the Game 3 replay is one of those, like, corrupted deals, so this has Game 1, Game 2, but they are both Eclipse, they're both the same duration, so I think, unfortunately, we just do not have a Game 2 to watch, but, you know, the Protoss, they look pretty strong. I don't think Zerg want to deal with that on Neil Sylphin, which that's the kind of map I like 2-gate on.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh, do you remember Telvanni doing that and then going into Scouts? That was pretty tough.
Yep. All right, so we are going to go into our second series then. And I'm going to leave the decision to you. Do we go with the game number order or the maps it's supposed to be, because these guys messed it up?
Let's go with the order they played it in, if that's what the numbers mean. Do you think they mislabeled it or they played it in the wrong order? I think we go with the map actually, because they probably played it in the right order and just mislabeled the replays, right?
I mean, it's your decision, man.
Let's go with the maps. Go with the maps.
All right, so then we are going to start with game 2, which is on Eclipse.
All right then.
All right, watch it confirming it was just the one game. Unfortunate, but understandable. You know, I could see a loss like that, or you know, you press for time. Happens to everybody. No big deal. But we'll go into our next set, and Neblime, if you were happy for one TVT, are you thrilled for a second?
I absolutely am. You know I love TVT. All right, in the top.
I'm
right.
I'm top responding to this. No.
Oh,
no
sure.
chance.
In the red, I was about to say blue. We have Slip It Inside, and in the bottom left, in the blue, we have Ditmel's, aka Jazz, or is it Yaz? It's Jazz. Up to you how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Yaz because there's already a player called Yaz who's fairly infamous, so I'm going to say Jazz.
Yeah, we can go with Jazz. It's a fun
jazz.
name.
Sure, it's just jazz. It's not like jazz music. It's just jazz. So yes, TVT here, but in tier 3. Now, in tier 3, I would expect to see 2-fact, honestly, from both players, because I feel like a lot of people have the attitude that they don't want to like even learn it, so they just play cheeses and try and end it.
All right, so I'll ask you, because this is advice I've definitely suggested to some PvP people, low level, that it's like they don't like the matchup, they think it's hard, they think it's coin flippy. I tell them just go Nexus first, because you'll win or lose quickly. Like you'll be in a good spot.
I can see the logic with that.
So would you suggest tier 3? It's like just try CC, make them stop you.
No, because the issue a lot of people have with TVT is that they get contained, they don't know what to do. Like either they did the wrong thing to get contained, or they don't know how to break out. And if you go CC first, you are guaranteeing that you will be contained. And you know, if you're playing at like a pro level, you just have more material and you can use it properly to break out. But at tier 3 level, it's like the hardest thing ever to break a contain. So I would not recommend it at all.
Okay.
He's walling, interestingly. Oh, not full wall.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got a SimCity thoughts about what we're seeing, especially from Slip It Insider?
Look, the thing is, in TVT, you don't have to be as precise. It's not like you're dealing with zealots or anything. It's literally just, are you going to block SCVs from getting in your base or not? And he could still put a third depot here, or maybe he just wants to like block a marine SCV or something. Insofar as having a wall in TVT makes sense at all. By the way, about like going for expansions. Oh no, okay, he did take gas. I was gonna say it looked like Jas was gonna get for a gasless here, but instead he's putting his units down here. I am a bit confused why you would put this on the low ground if you're not going to take a CC. There isn't really any reason for that. But this is probably a case of like, you know, they like see one aspect of a strategy but it doesn't really link up to the other. Because this is actually just a liability in this case. Well, Slip It Inside trying to get that SCV down. He might get that kill. Oh, pure skill dodges away. Oh, but he gets it anyway. Nicely done by Cider. Really nice SCV micro there. And his build so far is going fine at home, but again, why the wall? Usually when you see a wall in TVT, it means they're going to Port Wraith. So it kind of makes the wall bad because it gives away that you're going for that. Because there's really no other reason to get it.
I mean, what if you're not doing that and that's what you want your opponent to think?
That's fine, but your opponent's going to see that you're going to put a CC down then, aren't they? Like, either you're going to take the natural or you're not. And if you build a CC in your main, float it out, they're still going to see it eventually. You've got to land it to actually use it. Oh, the factory gained legs. Well, this SCV from Cider just doing way too much here. Damn. Although it is going to get picked up by the Marine if it doesn't leave soon. Uh-oh. Ooh.
Well, going in line with what you're saying, that you kind of expect 2 factors from both players keeping your guys in the gas after the initial factory, so could be a tech play. It also, at this level, I could easily just understand and be like, well, if I take him off, I'm going to forget to put him back, so I just don't take him
yeah,
off.
that's a fair point, actually. That's not... Yeah, that does make sense, but I would say if that's what you're saying, then I think you could just take the time to practice a little bit in single player, at least up to the point when you get your CC. And if you just want to put them back on when you get CC, that's fine. But it is 2 factories, by the way.
Well, from one of the players, Ditmals has not committed to the second one yet. They're starting to build up a decent bank. It looks like it is going to be a CC.
Right. Okay, like you were saying. Okay, so look, the thing is, if Jas goes for tanks right away, and he did go for shop right away, this is still definitely a playable position. The only thing I would say is this depot he has out, the natural, will probably die if it's going to be tanks from Cider, and there's not really much you can do about that. If it's going to be 2-fac Vulture, this SimCity is actually going to be really advantageous, especially if it's a bunker in it as well. It's going to be basically impossible for Cider to do anything. I mean, we'll see in a moment. I believe Cider's going to go for tanks here. Yeah, there he is. Tank starts.
Ooh, and starport. So yeah, variety of openings between the
Ooh.
two players.
That starport's really helpful to defend this, actually, because you just pick away at the tanks. If your opponent doesn't have time to get the bunker or sometimes turrets up, then it's easy to clear that up. Just with that Wraith, like, you know, pew-pewing away. Because the tank's trying to siege in slowly, there's plenty of time for the Wraith to do its damage.
Yeah, I like what we're gonna see though. That's like it's siege mode. You got 2 shops, so you can build a decent amount of tanks. But like, I'm always concerned with stuff like this. It's just, where is the follow-up going to be there? Is like the expansion gonna be in time for Slip Insider? Are they gonna be able to defend that? We're gonna see that starport to help defend against this? Are they gonna be ready to deal with it? And Dinmalls, even though they have the early expansion, like, they realize their spot. They don't have to go crazy. They're gonna get siege mode, be defensive, and just try to catch up in SCVs and put themselves in a decent spot as is.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Cider move out with 3 tanks here. It's usually what you do. And we're going to be in for a rude surprise. Well, hang on. Why is he getting a control tower? If he starts getting dropships, in isolation, there's nothing wrong with that strategy. But in this particular game, that is not what he's going to want to do.
I mean, it could be cloaked as well.
That would be, like, even extra strong against this 2-fact, but I suspect he's not going to do that. Yeah, he does start a raid. We'll see. We will see. I highly question eBay and Wraith, by the way. That doesn't really make much sense to me, but he is sieged up here. He may repel Cider for at least a second, and that will be long enough for this Wraith to come out, I think. Second tank comes out as well. So obviously, Jas looking pretty good here.
How did this Marine get out? You see this blue Marine on
Yeah, he just ran away. He just ran to the side, no problem. Ooh, you know, softening up that Marine is a big deal as well. Well, softening up indeed. Killing that Marine is a big deal because it makes it that much easier for the Wraith. Nice vision advantage of that barracks there for Cider, but it does take some counter damage. ACV is available to repair, and you're right, it is cloak. All right, it's very rare that you would see 1 port cloak. Usually, you're going to commit hard to Wraith, so you're going to invest in that. He's going to go straight to harass. He doesn't care about these tanks. Okay, nope, I'm wrong. Looked like he was going to. Very smartly targets the ACV there, kills an enemy tank as well with the vision. Looking pretty good for Jas, as expected. He did lose 1 tank, so Cider can try and attack here, forward here. But the thing is, the SCVs of Jas will be enough to defeat these tanks as well anyway. They have to remain siege. Trying to build another Marine, but as these Wraiths stack up, they'll just kill them as they come out. 1 Marine does not kill 1 Wraith. Wraiths are pretty bad, but they're not that bad. And chases away that last SCV. Is he going to pick it off?
Yeah, I am a little bit surprised, though, that, like, we see that Ditmalls, the tanks were on the low ground instead of being on the high ground by the ramp. You know, getting that mischance might have been a little bit helpful as well in this defense. But you can see Cider can't really move forward anymore.
Oh, he needs to deny that turret. He needs to deny that turret. Okay, there we go. If that went up, then this changes completely. The thing is, if you put all your tanks up on the high ground as Jas here, Cider could sneak in on the right side, and then suddenly he's hitting a mineral line, and you can't really do anything about it, because he's already all sieged up. Easily denying these turrets there, by the way. Cider did get a CC, so the game can go on. An armory coming up for Goliaths as well, but I think Jas should easily be able to break this contain by the time all that stuff happens. Especially with Cloak here, like, if anything shows up, he can easily delete that.
Yeah, so at what point at Cider, like, do you just commit to the attack? Because, like, you see, like, you don't have the turrets, these Wraiths are gonna just slowly kill everything off. Like, either you should have retreated or just gone for the attack and try to do your damage,
takes hit on the tank there. Yeah, for sure. I think point where his turrets failed and, like, his SCVs got picked off, well, he's gonna try again here. Nice micro by Jas as well, pulling back the injured Wraith. He might be able to finish that turret, but he's very low. Honestly, if Jas targets the turret and the CV can kill it, he needs to kill that north turret. Oh, he's screwing up right now. It's going to finish, and that is going to end this. Oh, big mistake. He could have finished off that north turret so easily, but now this contain is going to remain. Like we're saying, at this level, people don't really know how to break contains. So honestly, I think Jas might have just lost the game just by failing to break this. Because look how many tanks are here now. I would be surprised if Jas is actually able to break this at any point now.
I'm not gonna say it's a wrap just yet, right? Like, you still have an SCV lead, and there's always a chance that someone like Slipin Insider just gets impatient and, like, gives up their contains and be like, I can go for the kill now, and they fumble.
I suppose.
So I'm not gonna go that far just yet.
Yeah, okay, it's possible, but it seems like oh no, this Wraith rip. Every low-level TVT player seems to have this problem where they get contained at the natural and they cannot break it. And honestly, Jas has not been producing any tanks behind this, so he still has got the 1. So he doesn't really have any resources to break out, whereas Cider has so many tanks there, already turrets. I think, like you say, the only real possibility is if Cider gets impatient and attacks for no reason. That's all that could happen here. I mean, look, I would be pleasantly surprised if suddenly Jas just kind of, like, executes a really good bust and gets out here, but I would be very, very shocked.
Well, I mean, we do see another CC made for Deadmall, so they should be able to move that to 9 o'clock if they feel like it. They're working on double armory upgrades, which, like you're saying, the gas expenditure early on. I don't know if you could really afford to go for all that just yet. I think, you know, keep producing tanks instead would have been a better move, but it's not like they're not building up giant bank on like what we're seeing from Slip-In Insider, unfortunately. So this contains looking very strong, but there's always that chance, like what, maybe just get like some speed vultures, you get some mines out. That could be like a move that you can do something, work on drops or something. It looks like an SCV went to 12, and that Marine that snuck out is going to be able to deny that expansion. That's a good move.
That is nice. That Marine's a hero. But how are you going to get vultures past all these tanks? They just get blown up if they get out there. Nice vision use from Daz picking off turrets, but doesn't want to lose this barracks. Oh, look, and there's the high ground coming to play there. So he's picking off a couple things here and there. So far, so good. Man, he does not want to lose that barracks, though. Okay, and it is a dropship, like you said. So you can get harassed down here for sure. I suppose if Cider isn't properly defended, but he has 2 tanks in his main already. I think kind of anticipating this, even making a Wraith and additional turrets being built. I think he's well aware that dropship is a possibility here. And look at that, even gets a turret at the 3rd, stop dropships flying past there, and I think this dropship might fly right into it. Ooh, where's it going to go? Okay, it's just going to idle. Just as well. The CC will tank for it.
I would have really preferred that turret to be where the CC would have landed.
I mean, whatever. If the CC lands, you can still just bring units over and deal with that. I don't think it's an issue. And it does repel that. Yeah, I mean, Jess has to try and get out before every possible avenue is locked down with turrets, which is exactly what Cider's doing right now. You know, and Cider, I have to say, the very low SCV count, though, despite having this positional advantage, not macroing that well. The Wraith is going to be a very important tool against the dropship as well. If it can catch it, it can take it out pretty easily. Where is that dropship right now? I lost it. Oh, it's still in the main. Yeah, this hero Marine finally going to get taken out. Cannot contend with 2 Wraiths on his own. You know, one thing is, though, if Cider builds up a large number of Wraiths, but doesn't get Cloak, Jazz can build up his own Wraiths and will have Cloak, which will be a decisive advantage if he gets to the engage without any detection. Now look at this. Looks like he wants to try and bust out, but I don't think there's any way. Look how many tanks are lined up beautifully here for Cider. A free Vulture does go down. A Goliath as well. You're not busting out of this without pulling a lot of SCVs. Well, he's going to pick off a tank that moved forward too far, but he loses one of his own in return, so it doesn't really make much difference.
Burning her down again. It's going to have to get repaired.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Keep it alive. Keep it alive. I really want to see this dropship go deny that 3rd or something. Repair, come on! It's flying away. Get it! Oh my God! Try harder, SCV.
Oh,
please.
Fun.
No, don't let it die. Okay, it stops. Thank God. I hate that they do that. And look at this. Cider really anticipating what's going to happen here. He has defenses everywhere. There's never any way this dropship is going to get out. And it flies is the worst possible spot. And this is the thing. This is why you can't really rely on dropships to break out of contains like this. If your opponent knows what they're doing, they'll anticipate that this is the only option you have left and shut everything down. And the only way you can get out now is this like gravel area just to the north of this high ground tank. But it's a very narrow gap, and if the Wraiths just guard that spot, I don't think there's any way it's going to happen. Now, okay, Physics Lab. I've seen people try this a lot too. Yeah, did you just say no?
Yeah, I know you're going to be against this. I don't even have to ask. I know this is a bad day. Just because you just don't have the gas. There's no way. You don't have the time or the gas, right?
Well, if you have the time, if your opponent doesn't do anything, because that's what battle cruisers do. They win over time. But your opponent could just be taking every base on the map and replace tanks far faster than you can Yamato, and eventually just like build their own battle cruisers or just A-move you or something like that. In fact, I would say most often when you see players go battle cruisers on 2 base, that's the time the containing player might actually want to push in, because they can just build so much stuff, and you've put so much money in battle cruisers, you don't even really care about the battle cruiser, you just go to the ground army. Another dropship flying around here looking like it wants to leave, but honestly that would be a mistake. It is not going to get out anywhere.
Yeah, this spot here has gotten worse and worse, and good on Cider to be in this great position, be very aware of, well, this is like maybe here, like a lot of turrets, a lot of Wraiths, good coverage on everything. And you can see, again, it's going over to that left side. Does manage to drop at least a little bit, but the tanks are there as well, so even these Vultures not going to be able to get out or get anything done. So.
Yeah. Wraiths patrolling as well, looking for more dropships to pick up. We can see he's fully secured the bottom right with turrets now. Finally got that 3rd base up. Still a pretty low SCV count really for Cider, but over time he will pull ahead here. And the Wraiths of Cider coming in, picking off a tank, that's pretty huge too. Oh, almost loses one though.
I mean, this isn't exactly what you're looking for though, that you know, you see Ditmalls, he's going cruisers, he's got to build Goliaths, trying to build tanks, try 2 different drops now. It's like got the CC that's not doing anything in his base. It's just, and starting to really bank the money up, but no real plan how to actually escape this situation. It's exactly what you're saying. It's just it's a skill to know how to get out of this. And it's like, I don't have the advice like, oh, this is what you should have done. I think this game is looking more and more over as it goes on. Even though Ditmalls still has that supply lead, how much are you going to lose when you do try to break out?
Oh man, I mean, a lot. Look, I would say at this point you need to pull like 20 plus SCVs, and you could probably still do it because it's only tanks here. Anytime it's only tanks, SCVs can do a lot. But look, I'm going to drop the knowledge, right? You're saying people don't know how to break this. The key is you don't wait, ever. As soon as your opponent has to contain, you wait for 1 production round from the factories. Then it's just a matter of how many SCVs do you need to pull. And if in doubt, just pull more, because if they live, they can always go back to mining. So I would say as soon as his race failed, he should have attacked with like 20 SCVs and tried to kill every tank. You could have said like the tank production was also an error here, that he didn't have many tanks of his own at that time. But you just can't wait. The longer you wait, the worse it's going to be. So really he needed to get out of this like 10 minutes ago. Look at this like shenanigans over here of this tank, but the Wraith's gonna come in and ruin it. What a move. Man, Side is really on top of this stuff, honestly. It seems like a bit of a mismatch, quite frankly, of how well Side has been playing this whole game. His starting strategy, I don't really like it, but he's made it work pretty well.
Well, I mean, it might actually be a little bit of a mismatch. I remember Slippin' Insider as a name from seasons past, and so they might be a little more experienced than the average tier 3 player. A couple vultures trying to move forward. That tank line just an execution squad at this point. Nothing
yeah, that's right. Yeah, and you can see he's spread it, set it up in a pretty good line. It's not like it's uneven or anything, and there's even like the backup line behind that. Honestly, the payoff is just going to be watching all of Jazz units get blown up when he tries to break out, right? Or maybe this one battlecruiser will get sniped, and that'll prompt him to leave the game. The Wraiths are ready. They have Cloak. There's only one battlecruiser. Goliath's going to get hit by tanks here again. Trying to fight those Wraiths, but just getting baited forward. So many vultures falling as well. How many kills do some of these tanks have? 3 kills, 1 kill, 2 kill, 3 kills. Well, the Wraiths do get picked off a little bit, but he got rid of almost all the Goliaths there. Those Wraiths could actually swoop in and kill that Goliath, and then work on that battlecruiser as well.
And there's just not that much anti-air either for Ditmalls in this situation. You see it like,
yeah.
Sider's got all these tanks. So you see the Goliaths, some are in the main. You got like 1 at the front of the base, and that battlecruiser is just hanging out. It's like maybe it'll be useful, but we're not even seeing more really in production here. Two of the starports in use, but not making everything it can. About to get the energy for their first Yamato, but I mean that's a drop in the bucket.
Well, you can
right?
kill 1 tank.
Oh, Unsiege moves forward. Oh no.
Well, the SP's taking some hits. That's a nice kind of inch forward move, but I don't think enough tanks are actually in range here. Look, that's not the wrong idea, but it's out of range, unfortunately. And the Wraith's just going to swoop in and kill this battlecruiser instantly. Yeah. Like, you can see that you can't really be going battlecruisers here because you just don't have enough. And the tanks now don't have vision, getting absolutely slaughtered. That's it. Just leaves the game. Well, Saetzero, I don't want to say I told you so, but did I not tell you so like 10 minutes ago that this game was over?
I mean, you did. You do seem pretty knowledgeable about the mirror matchup of the race you play. Congratulations. No, everything you said makes sense though. That position, because siege tanks are so strong, because like turrets and all these things, you just restrict everything so much. It's not like
it's not even
outlandish,
TVT
right?
knowledge, honestly. It's more just knowledge of like, you know, lower level TVT players and like the problems they have. I just know that so many games, like, you know, so many like replays people submit asking like, what do I do here? It's always just a container that they're unable to break. It's like the #1 issue in the TVT community.
Yeah, well, we'll go into game 2, different map, less ramps, so, you know, more distance that you can kind of attack from. So we'll see if this game plays out a little different.
All right, in the 12 o'clock, in the red, it's Slippered Insider, and the bottom left in the blue, it's Ditmalls, aka Jas. Now, Cider's up 1 game in this best of 3, and honestly, I'm expecting a 2-0 based on that game.
Yeah, I think Cider definitely looked, even though there was spots where it's like, oh, that's production could use some work, you know, maybe they could have added on another factory earlier, all these kind of things.
Definitely the macro was like probably just straight up better for Chaz, but there were so many little things that Cider did, like lining up his tanks, for example, and, you know, having those Wraiths picking off tanks and not getting shot back. It looked so good. Compared to Jazz, I feel like a lot of units were like not in the right spot, and again getting baited in. Kind of like the Shroom versus what? Oh, indeed. He's like, all right, you know what? I don't have time for 2-fag. I'm getting out there and building a barracks.
I hate a wall much more on this map than we saw in Eclipse. Please,
I thought he was going to go for 8 racks.
Yeah,
honestly.
that's what I was thinking too. Oh,
Yeah, you can't pull this off. You can't pull this off. So look, it's the same thing as before. If your opponent happens to be going big vultures, it's not bad. But if your opponent happens to be going 2-fag tank, it's very bad. So it's whatever. I can take it or leave it. The only thing I will say is if you just built it next to your command center, you wouldn't lose all this mining time. That's all I'll say about that.
Any minor complaints about the timing of this racks that we're seeing in the middle of the map from Slippin' Insider?
Oh, I love how you phrased that. I didn't even consider it's a possibility at this point, so I wasn't even looking. Yeah, it's pretty late. I'm not gonna harp on it. It's just pretty late.
So, very fast refinery. What is the point of this? It's just literally just...
you do get the gas because you can cut SCVs and get a factory pretty fast. Is what you do here. You know, you put in some marine pressure, your opponent might get tunnel vision focusing on that, and like their factory might actually be later than yours. But the barracks is pretty late, I have to say. You're not wrong. I'll be submitting my minor complaints to the complaint department.
I mean, for TVT, aren't you the complaint department? just like you got like a freaking thing on your door.
Yeah, I put it in like a pigeonhole, and it just like loops around, comes back, and lands on my desk, or something.
Wait, you put it in a what?
A pigeonhole? You don't call it that in America? No, okay.
No.
You know, like a little square box you put like letters and stuff in. You know, at like the front of an office, there'll be like, you know, a whole set of them with everyone's name on them. You know what I mean?
I feel like you live like 30 years in the past.
Well, come on, it's like mailboxes but totally open. You know. Yeah, obviously, everyone's using emails these days, but like if they're not, you know. Well, SCV battle at the natural. Looks like Cider's SCV is superior. Jazz has to flee. Now look at that, the Marine's building up. Only one Marine built for Ditmal so far, so if these Marines come in suddenly for Cider, they could do work, although I don't know what he's waiting for. You don't want to wait, because the longer you wait, the sooner a Vulture will be out, and one Vulture negates all Marine pressure you could possibly imagine.
I mean, and look at Ditmal. All the guys pulled off the gas, so it's definitely gonna be a Vulture, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you get a CC, you don't need to put him back on right away, but okay, with 0 on gas, I would agree. Normally, you leave at least 1 if you're going into vultures and what have you. Now, Starport coming up as well. Man, Cider is just pulling out all the aggression in this game. The proxy racks, the Starport in before we see like vultures coming out as well. Yep, there we go. All right, 4 Marines coming up, and he might not even get to use these races. I don't see what Jas is going to do here. There's no SCVs forward. It's kind of unfortunate the CC went down because it's something he's going to have to cancel now. And he does pull that back though. Nice reaction time from Jas pulling that back. Good move there, because you don't want to die for nothing. And now, how's he going to deal with this? He needs a bunch of SCVs, but he did not pull them at all. Oh, but Cider's coming into the main. Now, I don't really agree with this. You can try and pick up SCVs, but he could have absolutely cancelled the command center, and that is just such an advantage. Now he's going to lose all his Marines, because the Vulture is going to do so much damage. He can get a few SCVs, but I don't think it's quite going to be worth it. No, he's not even going to get any.
Well, I mean, look at the production. Cider has stopped making SCVs. They're like, we got Vultures on the way. We got this proxy starport, the barracks in the middle of the map. I don't think there's any intention. There's no transition out of this for Cider. So yeah, I think the aggression felt
really
necessary.
Nice micro from Jazz. Did you see that?
It did a great job not losing that Vulture there.
That was impressive to us. All these Marines do not want to be in the front. The Vulture has to tank for the Marines in this scenario because the Marine actually provides a lot more DPS than the Vulture does, but it only takes 2 shots to kill it. But they got a little bit of damage on that Vulture, meaning in a straight-up 1v1 Vulture fight, Jazz is going to win. And look, he's just kiting back. Nice macro there. Jazz just needs to use his own Vulture on its own to fight this. But there's a second Vulture now for Cider, and the Wraith is on the way too. And like you were saying, your production wasn't so good, but 2 more Wraiths coming out for Jazz as well. I mean, sorry, 2 more Vultures. Man, a lot of SCVs falling. He needs to just chase those. He doesn't want to sit in his natural. There you go. Now he's on the counter-attack. 3 done for Cider, but he had the HP. Jazz being too timid here. Need to take that fight, but now the Wraith is out. All the Marines had been killed, so this is going to really do a lot of damage. No armoring on the way yet.
Yeah, I mean, this will keep building up here. Cider looks like they're ready to wall off their base if they need to make sure there's not some giant counterattack, but still, Vulture fights happening in the middle, and Cider actually has more Vultures, so them all going pretty far out. This isn't great. Better target fire from Cider as well, so gonna be able to clean that up in this race, just kind of whittling down stuff. All the Vultures go down, and it's just a big advantage on every front here from Cider. The CZ does finish, but you can't defend that anymore.
Yeah, I think he's just going to kill him here. A tank's coming out, which will deal with those Vultures, but the Wraiths can just finish it off over time. And yeah, that's it. 2-0 for Cider.
See, when I think of low-level TBT, that's the game I'm imagining. It's like, I'm not playing a long game, bro. I'm just like, we got this factory, I got this starport.
In chat, like, Shorty's saying whether like the CPL takes us as knockoff, and Whyimnoob points out the Protoss and the Terrans. So we're really trying hard to copy them, damn.
Yeah, we could talk about more like pop culture stuff too if you want.
Just let's stop talking about the games. This is a signature mood.
Well, we could start doing it for PBTs for sure.
No, I want to talk about PBT.
In the early game?
Okay, true. Is it PBT next?
No.
Okay. Shorty says I'm funny. Oh, well, thank you, Shorty.
Yes.
I don't suppose you're in the CPL Discord, are you, Shorty? If not, you should be.
Yeah, maybe if you're not in
Yeah,
the
be
league,
to cry about
games.
balance war. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Whyimnoob kid. Alright, in the top right here, in the pale blue, we have... Who do we have? How am I going to say this one? I'm going to say Zmaan, because that's the actual name. And the bottom left, in the yellow, we have nerfingen. Now, back to the Zerg for a minute. Now that I've done an actual introduction, I got to try, alright? You ready, Saetzero?
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's just Zmaan Ryan, but I want to think it's like Zmaan Rian, you know?
No.
That's what I think. Oh.
No, that is like an airball beyond belief. Like, you're just like true nerd, can't do sports airball where you don't touch nothing. Everyone looks at you and be like, are you okay? Do you need help?
Can't do sports airball, I love that. Okay, so it's CBT. Well, come on. CBT as well. If the Zerg's not doing a pool, we got nothing to talk about either. So, how about that pop culture, huh?
I don't know, man. You might be like from a million years ago. I can't even talk pop culture. I don't watch anything
You
anymore.
say Australia's so backwards, but like I tell you what.
No, I say you.
Oh,
you. Not
okay,
Australia.
correct.
Come on, man.
All right. I was gonna say they don't have paywave in half the places in America, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's a big country. There's a lot of bad areas, but yeah, like, you
true.
got to see a whole bunch of it with your trip.
I certainly did. It was great. It was a great trip. I visited like 17 states, I think. So it's a bit short on being able to visit all of them in 3 goes. That's what I figured out.
Okay, I mean that seems pretty reasonable, but I don't know. I feel like just because I live here, I don't know why anyone would travel to America. There's so many other places that are gonna go.
Well, but that's the thing. You were born there and like grew up there, right?
Yeah.
You have to understand, I would say, certainly for all English-speaking countries and probably most other countries in the world, you constantly hear about America and so many things that, like, you know about are from America. You have products from America. All the celebrities are from America. So it's like always, you always know a lot more in America about even your own country, it feels like. So you want to go there and see what it's really like, I guess.
Yeah, okay, I could see that. So
yeah, Shorty Up says America is like the city on the hill. Sure, except that has too much of a positive connotation for me. Just saying. No offense to America, but that just seems a bit too kind.
it's I don't know. To me, it's like there's every place in the world. It's like, oh, I would like to go visit here, but it's not like I don't want to see everything in the region. It's just like kind of cherry pick. Like, yeah, I want to go like this here and this here. So it's like going to America. It's like if you're like, oh, I want to go to California, I get that way better. Then it's like I want to see all of America. It's like I don't know.
You know,
why
I didn't really like California much. I have to say,
really,
I didn't like California very much. Yeah. By the way, it's 3 hatch here. Interesting build. You know, not what we normally see in the meta. Nerfingen is pretty normal build, but you know, I hate the barracks placement. Look. We're not talking about the real game yet. Do you want me to talk about SimCity or do you want me to talk about California? You can choose.
You can talk about SimCity. It's your favorite thing. I know it. And we lost the challenge to make you stop doing it yesterday. So go ahead.
Yes, I'm so glad. I would have been heartbroken. So, and just that you really want the barracks near the ramp, so turrets can cover both the ramp and the barracks. Now you can lift it off and move it, but the problem is you're losing marine production if you do that. This Overlord, though, what is it doing? Yeah, that's right. You better turn around. My God. It's like he just suddenly realized where he was. He was like, oh, I'm in the bad neighborhood. Ooh, let me turn around and go home. Holy crap, that was scary.
Now, speaking of scary, look at these links moving across the map. The Overlord saw no wall at the front, nothing at the ramp either, so...
Well, 3 Marines are out, but 1 is chilling in the main, and there's no SCVs here. I feel like if you have like 3 Marines and 1 SCV, you can win that fight, but he has 2 Marines, not SCVs to help. These lings could actually do a lot of damage here. Ooh, I was going to say, are they just going to walk past? Oh, come on. He could have killed those.
Easily killed those.
But he runs into the main. At least he's going to get a full scout. And he's going to try and get some SCVs. It's still totally going to be cost effective if you get a couple SCVs here. So, and he's shooting his own gas. These Marines are not inclined to help these SCVs. They got other business. And you know what? This has been great for Zerg. He killed 3 SCVs, a 4th SCV. So efficient for Zerg. That's like only 100 minerals. He killed 4 workers. That's pretty great. But at home, Zerg banking up so much minerals. Lair has not started. He only just started mining gas. If he makes a whole bunch of lings and attacks, I don't mind. But yeah, okay, there you go. I like making lings when you've got that many minerals. You might as well. But his supply block? No, he's not. He just made 2 overlords. Stuff going crazy on both sides right now.
I think this is the kind of where we talk about the basics of some of the low-end players that we say, like, oh, like, yes, don't worry about the micro, don't worry about all this kind of stuff, work on your production, your macro. That's, like, the fastest path to improve, because we saw it right there at Zmaan and Ryan. It did more damage than we thought they were going to do, and holy crap, at the end of the day, it really wasn't worth it for how much they lost behind it, especially because I saw all the hatcheries, they all had 3 larvae on it. It's like... That
said, the follow-up attack may do the damage he needs to still stay ahead here, because a whole bunch of lings coming, no bunkers being made or anything. If you use SCVs to fight, you can win this for Terran, I feel, but I don't expect we're going to see that, because, you know, this is Tier 3, we don't expect anything crazy. You know, I've really been spoiled by the last 2 Tier 3 series, because the micro was really good in those ones, better than I have any right to expect for Tier 3. Like, no shade on these players at all if they don't micro that well. Now look at this, Ling's going to come in here, and they can just aim move those Marines pretty easily. A couple more Marines pop out, but still, Zerg's going to win this with a fair few Lings left over, yeah. Crushing through all those. And now nerfingen in a lot of trouble. Marines not even producing there. He needs to drill. Ooh, GG, he can't face these Lings. Yeah, it's tricky when you don't know how to deal with them. You've got to have the techniques, and so... no, Shorty, this is below C rank. Oh, Tier 1? Tier 1 would be like, yeah, C rank.
Tier 1, like, upper end, it's like probably like 16 something to 17 something?
Yeah, Tier 1 probably encompasses like highest of D to the rest of C, and then I'd say Tier 0 is pretty much all B to A. Yeah, but yeah, Shorty was saying in chat, because people aren't aware, these Tier 3 games, I'd say what, they're like 1400 and below?
1350 below, maybe even 1350
below. Yeah, below. Right. Yeah. So these are newer players as well, just for people who don't know, because I think Shorty and Chat actually didn't know. So you know they're just here trying to learn, putting their games out there. So props to them, and they're getting help from their team as well. This is how they're going to learn StarCraft. Yeah. 1750 was Tier 1. Damn, that's high. Damn, I almost qualified for Tier 1. Damn, missing out.
Man, why do I even cast you then? I gotta go get a more solidly Tier 0 friend.
Yeah, basically.
That's all good. I did see it during Nightcat. Thank you so much for the sub for the channel. Always an option if you guys like what we do, but honestly, views are enough for us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nightcat. Wow.
Nightcat also does a decent amount of casting. You got anything coming up this week that we can promote for you?
Nightcat didn't even say anything in chat. Oh, yes, he did. I scrolled up a bit and I found it.
With that, though, we can start on our next game, and if you want, I can start complaining about how all these players should be building bunkers more. I feel like every time you don't build a bunker to be greedy, it's like it just goes
at the lower level, I would agree with that. Let's introduce players first. In the bottom left, in the yellow again, we have nerfingen, so maybe selecting that on purpose. And the bottom right, in the white, we have Zmaan. Yeah, the thing is, in the higher levels, you really don't want to make the bunker too early because it like slows down your key buildings. Oh my gosh! Speaking of making things early. He's not slowing down his key building today, Zmaan. You know what? The name makes sense. He's Zergling Man. He's going to make the 5 pool. Nope. Okay, he made drone. But I'm doing that thing again where like they don't make drones for a while. I'm like, oh my god, they're making a pool. But it turns out they just kind of forgot to make drones for a bit.
Yeah, you wait till it's like 100. That's
okay, never mind.
That's why every time like we see something like this, I just very casual like, oh, look at this. Just like I don't overreact. Just we could draw the attention to it, but we don't have to go crazy. But we're not seeing that here.
I like going crazy, man. You gotta hype it up. Look, since Zman's in chat just now, he's saying he's trying to improve. Like I will say, in the very early game, it's absolutely important to get every worker the very second you can. So make sure you don't miss that. If like I don't know, you got a text message or something at the start of the game, that's fine. That makes sense. But if you were like focusing on this, I would say really make sure that you don't miss these drones even for a second. At least so the casters don't get confused.
I mean, that's also fine. I think the biggest thing we saw last game, though, which, I mean, still worked out fine, but, like, flowing up to 700 minerals on 3 hatcheries, just...
Yeah.
It takes you so little time to go back and just hit SZ, SC, SC, or SD, or anything. Even spending money badly is better than not spending it.
I would question are the hatcheries hotkeyed? Very important to hotkey every hatchery. So without even moving your screen back, you just press the number, like you say, press SD or SC or whatever you're going to do, and just get in the habit of doing that every few seconds, even while you're macroing your units. Because yeah, while those 4 lings absolutely got their money's worth, they did a great job. If Terran was playing perfectly, say, and still like lost that many of those 4 lings, he'll be so ahead from how much macro was lost in home. Okay, we see a hatch coming up here, by the way. I'm liking Zerg's build so far. Terran getting that anti-zealot SimCity, super helpful in TVZ, I'm sure, but there we go, second barracks coming up right away. Now, normally when you do this, you do it quite earlier than this, before the depot, but that's not to say there isn't still potential of aggression here. If Zerg gets greedy, only makes the minimal amount of starting lings, you can actually just come across a bunch of Marines and a few SCVs and actually just kill the Zerg. Marines not bad in this matchup, even without stim. Thing is, Zerg can counter that just by making a lot of lings. The only thing they have to do is hit that ling button, and they will have the units they need, but will he be aware that he's in danger here? Nerfingen really needs to make Marines, though, if he's going to make 2 barracks, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, with the 2 barracks, though, are we seeing like a gas and a stim timing, or is this just to have a couple more units than you're expecting, even unupgraded good enough?
Well, again, it depends what Zerg does, right? They need to not make a lot of lings, because the lings are just better than non-stim Marines. It's kind of a very clear set of timings in TVZ where one unit is superior to the other. Like, slow lings are better than basic Marines 100% unless the Marines have some kind of choke, right? Like, money for money, they're just better. And then once you get stim and medics, once you get speed, they like slaughter them even harder. But then once you get stim and medics, they absolutely destroy even speedlings, unless, again, they have like a really good engage, really good surround. But then you get your lair tech, whether it's Muta or Lurker, and then it's like Zerg kind of has the advantage again if they get the right engage. And then you get, your vessels or whatever, but then Zerg has hive tech, and you have these constant kind of arms race going on in this matchup. But if you're trying to attack with unupgraded Marines, you just hope he didn't make enough lings. It's literally what you have to do.
Yeah, so the scouting SCV for a nerf gets picked off, and I don't know if it was misclicked. It never went in the main. It didn't see 3 hatchery play. It never saw anything, actually. It didn't even see the expansion.
Well, at this level, I'd say it's not the most important distinction between 2 and 3 hatch, but you want all the info you can get, of course. These 4 links coming up again, but Nerfingen ready with these 4 Marines this time. Ooh, that's a nice little pick off, but Zmaan, well done pulling those back, keeping them alive. But once again, the minerals going up almost to 400. Big issue there. Need to spend that money constantly. Lair not starting, instead we get ling speed, which is not what Nerfingen will be hoping for here. And he's going to move out with these Marines, but as long as a few more lings get made with ling speed, it's going to be very hard to do anything here. Now, he's getting Academy. If Nerfingen waits for his stim and medics, this could be a much stronger push. And in fact, making speedlings early can actually be very bad against that, because if they get 1 or 2 firebats, it kind of doesn't matter how many lings you make. Firebat's pretty good against lings. Just mass speedlings, it's a good build by Swarm. It's not bad, I have to say.
It can get the job done. And we are seeing, this is, I think, what we were going towards last game, but we didn't get far enough in to see it. We got Hydrogen in a lair. Hydrogen started a little bit earlier than you need, but this is something for 3 hatch. If you're not good with your Muta control, lurkers are way easier, so just make lurkers.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it at all. I will say you want to get the lair before ling speed if you're not planning to do a big ling all in. It's a bit of a mistake here, but I mean, if you think Nerfingen might have been coming across here, it makes perfect sense. That said, with how few lings he's made, I don't think he actually realized what Nerfingen's doing here. He just kind of made ling speed to make ling speed. Medics are coming out, stim is on the way, and honestly, this looks super scary for Zerg. That's a lot of Marines that Nerfingen was able to make, and I think he's going to have a really strong push here. No Sunkens have been made yet, and you need 2 to stop this. If you don't have any supporting units, 2 probably isn't even enough. All right, well, Marine's starting to inch out here. Where's the other medic? She's just AFK. Here she is. Is Nerfingen going to move across? Not moving across would be a big issue here, because you're giving Zerg time to get his lair tech out, and you're way behind the economy on this one base. Oh man, I think Nerfingen's not going to move out though. That's very disappointing.
I mean, I get the logic though of like, if I get more production, I can feel safe. Don't have to build that bunker, which okay, if you don't want to build it, that's fine. But you know, just get settled up. Don't lose to the early game like what happened in game 1. Get yourself in a decent spot to move forward. But yeah, especially since there was no scouting info. You don't know if it's 2 or 3. Like we haven't seen any scans yet. And actually, look at the barracks in the main. You can't put a scanner on that CC.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you don't know if it's it's like where there's no eBay, there's no turrets, there's no, like, you're really kind of gambling that your opponent's not gonna be doing something important, just relying purely on this medic marine.
I like that these Hydras are moving out as well, so they can morph in closer. Again, it's kind of like if Zmaan knew what Terran was doing, I have a lot of questions, but I don't think he really has a notion that Terran has such a strong army right now. But if Terran just sits here until the lurkers are done, it's definitely going to be good for Zerg. And like you say, no scan is able to come up. I don't see an eBay. Is there an eBay anywhere? So he's not going to have any kind of detection. The lurkers are just going to absolutely murder him if he doesn't do something before they are finished. The Marines keep moving like a centimeter further out, and I'm like, come on, you can do it. Go get him. Yes, he's going. He's going.
Yeah, but look, they're not going to the path. They're not going to see the lurkers.
No!
They are turning around. I think really scanning just to make sure there's no kind of counterattack, but this buying time, the lurkers being morphed. And a lot of links remain behind us as well. Not too many out here. Oh, gets canceled.
I don't know if he realizes that lurker eggs are almost invincible to Marines. And yes, they can surround them and get a good engage as soon as they hatch. Oh, these medics also getting picked off. Huge loss. Okay, stims forward. The thing is, those lurker eggs will not die to the Marines, and when you have that many lurkers, oh my god, they just run right past him! Don't forget to A move. You gotta A, left click on the ground so they attack everything. Oh, but he is just going straight to the base, which I don't dislike. But the thing is, what defense Terran have at home? No bunker, still no detection. I would like to see him morph those lurkers again.
Yeah, I would, even if there was lurkers back at home, I'd like that a lot more. Hatchery being made behind this stuff, so as the Evo Chamber, and here comes that counterattack. There's going to be able to definitely cut off all the reinforcements, and Nerf has stopped moving forward. You can see really buying a lot of time. Ooh, SV's getting transferred just in time here. Still no lurkers, though, but this is enough units to at least put some pressure on. And we got the attack ring at the front. There's a good amount of lings, good reinforcement. I think we might be able to get this around and defend this.
Very bad engage for Terran because his Marines got spread out, which is not what you want. You need them in a tight ball. And now I don't think he has enough. I think these Lings might barely kill them all, while the Lings are doing some damage at the Terran base. Yeah, looks like Zerg will clean it up. Terran actually had enough there, I think, to break if he kept them tightly packed together. But unfortunately, they got strung out. A few units went on their own. Now this attack is over. Zerg can still morph lurkers at any time. Still hasn't been able to do that. GG. Nerfingen knows he's screwed, though. Honestly, I don't blame him. That's a 2-0 for Zerg.
Yeah, there's a lot of lack of SCV production, even just without the ones that got killed as well. If you took the exact build Nerf did, it just didn't delay the attack, just went when you had stem and just forced them to defend it. I think it kills him.
100% would have killed him. There was nothing Zerg could do there. I mean, it's not like it was impossible for Zerg to defend. He just didn't know it was coming and get anything, right? 100% could have killed him. It was a fine opening as far as building 2 barracks in your base at the start of the game goes.
Yeah, but hey, that's a good 2-0 win for the Zerg, though. And like we just seeing him talk about a little thing in the chat, like doing 3-hatch lurker, just doing one build, right? That's a good path to getting yourself on a way to start learning. So.
For sure. Well, can I just point out one thing for Zmaan's benefit? When those lurker eggs were morphing in the middle of the map, I think you just let those finish because he's not going to gun down all the lurkers before they can burrow, and he had no detection. You could have slaughtered them.
Yeah, it definitely feels scary though, but they got so much armor and so much health. Like they're fine. And it's like even if they really focus, if they're just trying to oh, we got to go kill them now, that's where you can bring the links from the natural to get this around. So, but hey, that's a 2-0. We're gonna go to our next set, the nice. Elusive PBT. We can start testing the waters about not talking about StarCraft, even though I feel like we already do that in this match.
Alright, in the top right, in the brown, we have Vaclavson. How would you pronounce that? I say Vaclavson. In the bottom left, in the yellow, we have NicePants. Definitely a long-time CPL enthusiast. I guess player, I can say. I don't have to water it down, say enthusiast. So, going into TVP now.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are in Eclipse TVP. Will there be a gas steal in Tier 3? I highly doubt it.
I would 100% of the time because I don't think Terran's going to stop you from doing it. And
in chat, even if he had scan, I think you still let those finish. I think they're still going to survive because he's not going to go down 5 that quickly. With the Lings there to help out as well. Because they were pretty close to finish. Anyway, enough about the last game. Sorry, Saetzero, what were you saying?
I was going to say, Tier 3, this is where I think you really go for a gas steal because...
Yeah, it would be good, but at the same time, are people actually going to know that that's an option and pull that off?
I mean, we saw a 2-gate in-base Zealots in PvZ earlier. I think if your coach just wants to be what's really annoying? You know what's really abusive? Right?
What's he saying? Maybe I wasn't close to Discord. Oh, is he lagging me?
Maybe. So, we'll end up seeing where these guys go, though. But PvT tends to have very similar openings for a while, so we got a little bit. And Since it is NicePants EU, I wonder if they are playing from a reasonably far
Yes.
distance from each other, unfortunately.
Yes, it is a constant problem, and honestly, if you play in a Overpowered League that's international, I'm afraid you just have to expect this and learn to accept it, even though it does suck sometimes. So, look, we have time, right? We've got time.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay, if you put your depot above the barracks, well, you know the rhyme. Depot above fits like a glove. Units cannot pass at all. Not even Zerglings can pass this. So when the Zealot's in your base, your Marine doesn't have anywhere to go. It can't fit there, so it has nowhere to hide. You've got to put that depot to the right of barrack. Oh, he wants to remake. I'd remake if I put my depot like that. I guess the lag is a real issue here. Now, it doesn't look like any Zealots are coming up. I just can't let Vaclavson leave without saying that, because how's he going to learn if no one points out that the SimCity is not helping him out at all?
Yeah, and unfortunately, this is probably a game where it might actually be relevant because the opener was Pylon Gate Pylon, which usually indicates some big Zealot pressure for a while.
Yes.
Although, actually, now what we're seeing here, oh, well, trying to jinx that, thought maybe it was going to take a really fast Nexus behind this, but ooh, SV is going to be able to scout what's going on, sees the probe already down there, and that first Zealot turning around. Yeah, I don't like it turning around like that.
Huge error. You want to get out there and do the damage. Okay, he's on track again now, but he lost a lot of time there. Now what? Okay, CC's going to go up. It looks like that Marine is trying to pretend he's like attached to that SCV at the hip. Okay, there we go. Finally, it pisses off a bit.
But the Terran has 200 gas. Like if you're
he also has a Marine. So definitely this is not the time to get a CC here. Now the thing is, he saw that Protoss is going for this gasless expand, in which case getting the CC fast makes sense, but the problem is he does not actually have any Zealot defense. Now bunker doesn't actually mean anything because the Zealot can just run into the main and ignore it. With one Marine, that bunker is basically not even there. It's a thing, Shorty, but not like this. We'll talk about it more in a bit. So here comes that Zealot. In fact, the bunker's not even going to finish. Needs to run that Marine away. Okay, does run it away. Takes one hit though.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. Turn around, just stop this CC, delay things a little bit. So the reaction from Vaclavson, just not going to be what you're looking for exactly. We'll move that one over, try to finish out that bunker. Pulls a good amount of SCVs, making sure this Zealot can't get in there, but loses the Marine, unfortunately. And this SCV is really doing a lot of damage here. Already up to 3 kills, caused a little bit of disruption as well. So I think even though this could have been so much worse if it was that kind of big dedicated Zealot pressure. Oh, second one shows up. That one's still alive. Ooh, this is getting a little bit worse and worse for the Terran, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do here. A Vulture can come out, but the Marines just have nowhere to hide. Like,
ooh,
he
look
can,
at Micro to keep that Zealot alive at 2 health.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. That was pretty sick. The Marine can run, but he can't hide, right? Because he's just got nowhere to go. The Vulture's coming out, and you can buy Micro or Vulture against any number of Zealots, but the problem is they can kill every SCV before you can actually chew through their hit points. They have enough.
Losing all these Marines, SCV's even getting pulled, but they're not really doing anything, so they're really just not mining, unfortunately. So a little bit of panic setting in, but when that first Vulture goes, as long as the Micro is decent, but, maybe the foreshadowing of the connection, will the Micro be decent? It runs right on in, takes some free shots, and you can see these Zealots really causing a lot of chaos. Still more reinforcements. This bought time for the Cyber Core to finish, Dragoons to be in production, so there will be defense against this Vulture, and end of the day, you look at that work account, that's, if I was Terran, I wouldn't even say this game anymore. This is brutal.
No, I wouldn't even. That said, you can counterattack the Vultures here, and NicePants was kind of slacking. The Goons look like they are going to come out in time, though. Oh, he loses that Vulture. Oh my god, he's going to lose this Vulture too?
Oh no.
Oh man, we thought it was over, but it was only just beginning. Then again, he's hitting the factory, so I guess he's not going to do anything else here. I don't know how many SCVs you need to produce constantly from 2 factories. I guess 10 can probably pull it off if you're just making Vultures.
Yeah, but I mean, NicePants does at least... Well, did they go far enough to actually see the second frame? I'm sure they did. So they know what's going on here. They already have 2 gateways finished, adding on a 3rd one behind it, and they're just producing goons here. So I think you've done so much damage, you don't have to rush for a 3rd base. If you don't want to, you can just kind of stay very stable. I just want to see like a robo, get your observers, the bunker gets canceled. So
yeah, it's not like he doesn't need the bunker to survive. That's the worst thing here. It's so bad that he has to make a bunker on his ramp, but I think he kind of needs that anyway if Protoss actually came across the map. That's just how bad a position Terran is in. This Vulture's going to come across. There's no way to get in here. Nope, denied. Oh, let's see.
Yeah, and look at like what we're actually seeing here, which you gotta respect it. The eBay being started, which all you've seen is Zealots. You don't know what's happening. DTs could easily be following this up.
He's still on 1 base though. Like, I think you just need to take risks at this point. It's a good job keeping that Vulture alive. You can deny the third at least, but honestly, Protoss can just come across at any time with these goons and end the game. Like, there's no mines or anything yet, so there's nothing to stop him from doing that. Back to what we're talking about the gasless expand here that Protoss is doing. So in chat, very helpfully pointing out. So if you want to go for the CC here, you have to make more Marines than that. That's what you just cut Marines completely. Basically, what you do is you pull out of gas when you see it's an expansion. So you can get your CC fast, you can get your Marines, and then you can get your factory slightly later. It's a pretty good build to counter that. But we see Protoss going for a Citadel and Robo here. Are we going to see DT drop? I'd love to see that, to be honest.
I'm trying to figure out if it's DT drop or if it's, just kind of working up tech tree to work towards Arbiters, maybe get Zealot legs. You can just use a shuttle to kind of break any kind of little defense, because if you're thinking about, I'm so behind on things, what am I going to go for? We see siege tanks being made, 2 machine shops added, so you figure it's probably going to be tanks, right? It makes sense that your opponent's going to really turtle up.
Well, your opponent's going into Protoss. How do you stop this? Do Protoss wear pants, someone says? No, probably not. I'm trying to find a Zealot. Yeah, no, they ain't wearing pants. My God. Although their legs are like robotic.
They could wear pants,
but they don't. That just makes it worse. It's like, oh yes, culture, bans pants. It's not my fault. No, they could wear pants. They just choose not to. Thanks, Saetzero.
I mean, realistically, they're living their free life, man. It's catching that breeze. They're having a good time, man.
Wow.
Don't door knock.
Wow. Well, it's their leg enhancements are considered pants? Maybe. Alright, so 5 gates coming up here. NicePants been doing a decent job keeping the probe production up and is way ahead now, but the second base is coming up. The siege mode's up, so maybe he can defend. Honestly, there's still like too much Protoss stuff. He could actually have just barreled in there, but NicePants not wanting to take that risk, just keeping his lead. And now this shuttle's done. Is he going to go for like a bulldog type bust here, or what? I'm not sure what's happening.
That's what I'm thinking, right? Because he kept making a decent amount of Zealots behind it. Has the shuttle here. It's like you're looking for more things, and he sent out a bunch of probes like all over the map. I guess to see what's going on, if there's like a free base to attack or something. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Well, I mean, it's fine to look for hidden bases as well if you know you're ahead, so I don't mind it. But the Vulture's doing good jobs picking those off, for sure. And I like those mines sneakily in there. Ooh, he's gonna get a kill here. Oh, not quite, but it's still good damage. It's well worth it to lay them like that. This Vulture has 3 mines, but I don't think it's going to lay them before it dies, unfortunately. Oh, poor Vulture.
Yeah, manages to lay one.
Oh, nice! Nicely done. Well, that's some efficient trades for Terran at least. He's 50 supply behind. Second base coming up here, and he's kind of pausing his speed production a bit, which I don't think he needs to do here. I think he needs all the SCBs he can get. All right.
So
Protoss,
we've kind of talked about some of the things that could have gone wrong. NicePants' decision-making strategy-wise, they got so many probes. They're in such a good spot. I don't know how much I like them just adding on a ton of gateways, which is clearly indicating some kind of bust, which I think, like, you could have put pressure on earlier to see how well it's going to work. I feel like if you dedicate to this, you give your opponent time to get set up, there's a small chance it doesn't work, right?
Well, here's the mistake NicePants is making. He's thinking he's fine on 2 bases, but the fact is simply in TVP, you must be ahead on bases of the Terran, or you have to be killing them. And, like, he's going to have to go for an attack here, or else Terran will be able to catch up. Even though the SCV difference is 40, if Protoss doesn't take a third, I can definitely see Terran winning this game. Now, he's kind of sending some probes out now, so I think he's finally going to do it. But it was so delayed. I mean, he was so ahead in army, I feel like he could have gotten this a lot earlier.
Yeah, I think all this could have been a lot earlier. Even, like, I don't know, like, taking a little too easy 2 Temple Archives being made. We could tease them just a little bit. This is interesting. I don't know if there's some kind of thing you're looking for here. I don't think there's any kind of upgrade timing that's going to make that worth doing. That's just a lot of gas not being used.
Yeah. Oh, look at this Vulture. Who's to say the third is even going to go down here? My God. Oh, okay. I guess NicePants is to say that. How did that Vulture not kill that? Was that a 1 in 256 miss? My God. Okay, a couple goons are going to come and clean this off. So the third, however slowly and tortuously, is going down. All that mine. Oh my God, those high ground misses, but it doesn't go off in the end. Okay, so finally Protoss securing this third. So okay, everything's still looking up for him. Just a bit questionable on how long he took to take that. Now we have 2 Templar Archives. You've got to research Hallucination and Maelstrom at the same time. Very important. I would like to see an Arbiter Tribunal, though. That's my suggested tweak here.
Yeah, it feels like it'd be good, but the way this game's going, you could definitely be on some cruise control. We're seeing air weapons. Like, we're just seeing a whole bunch of everything, which if you're this ahead in the game, sure, do whatever you're trying to do. But if you're, using these games to be like, this is how I should be working to improve. Like, this is not a focused game. Even though Spot looks so great for NicePants.
Certainly not.
But this is not the kind of focused game plan I want to see, where it's like, you want to add a lot of gateways and play this kind of style, get a third base earlier. Get that money that really help you kind of do that a little bit more. Or you can focus on tech, like 2-base arbiter. It's just so all over the place, and it's gonna look good because of how much advantage they got early. In reality, it just doesn't matter.
So, these mines. Oh, he's gonna get those goons. Oh, he gets one of them. Honestly, 1 goon for 2 vultures, not bad for Terran. Oh, he plugs it out. Wow, okay. Gets that one too. Nicely done there. Yeah, by the way, this +1 air weapons, do you think it's to trick the Terran to think it's carriers, or do you think NicePants actually thinks that's good on arbiters?
I think it's either a trick or just a style. Like, because there's no... If might go carriers, you can just research it. It's such a low investment, and you might get an overreaction from your opponent, or you're just prepped up for later, so you can start the +2 a lot earlier. If it's something you like to commonly do in a late game, something I like doing personally, so I get it. Again, this is a little bit all over the place, which I wouldn't mind it nearly as much if there was 3 bases taken off earlier than what we actually saw in this game.
Yeah, so I love that he's taken the 4th, though, because, when you're ahead, get more ahead is the philosophy, right? And it's not like Terran's going to be able to stop him in any way whatsoever. Now, Terran moving across and taking the 3rd, I mean, if Protoss are not able to deny this, though, I mean, it's really just another step towards Terran coming back in this game pretty well. That said, Protoss has a pretty good army to try and bust this. Like, we can see he's got almost triple the supply, right? So it's not like Protoss doesn't have the army he needs, but he just needs to get it over here and get it organized, basically. And, 4 base versus 3 actually sounds kind of good for the Terran if he can hold on and macro up. But can he hold on? That's the question.
I think can he macro up is also a legitimate question. The SCV production, the damage done early, sure, but that is no longer the excuse for how little we're seeing at this point in the game. I think this could have been produced a lot faster, kind of get back in there. I do like the choice, though, to try to just get your 3rd base up, kind of keep moving with things. You got double armory going, not a lot of factors just yet, so if you're just kind of gambling, maybe he won't attack me, he's definitely playing the perfect way for that strategy to work, and NicePants kind of letting it rock.
Yeah. Oh, okay, hang on. Adding more gateways and the fleet beacon. Sorry, gateways, I mean Stargate. So, I guess I shouldn't have questioned the +1 air weapons. That said, why you got the Arbiter Tribunal then? You're going to build Arbiters and Carriers? Where are you getting the gas for all this?
I mean, why do you have so many gateways if you're planning to go carriers? If you're a 3 Stargate carrier, that's expensive. That's very expensive. You can't afford
I would like to see him take, 2 more bases for sure with this strategy. Vulture's coming across again. Vaclavson has been pretty behind, but he's doing a good job pressing with Vultures. Man, these probes going to slip past. I hate it when this happens as Terran. You watch the replay and you're like, damn, I could have killed so many probes. But they are going to make it to this base. And so, Protoss Mining going to keep escalating his maxed now. Terran, not many SCVs at this new base, but he has walled it off almost. Okay, not completely, but still that makes it harder to get in there. I would love to see him transfer some SCVs here, because this count's getting sort of healthy now.
Yeah, definitely accumulating, and NicePants been at this mid-60 point for a while. I think they're done with probes, which that's not really... I don't know.
I mean, on a 2-player map, I think 65 is fine, to be honest. Just needs more bases to spread them across.
Alright, well, now that we hit max, gonna start moving forward on the next move. Stasis being researched with the first Arbiter on the way, so all this carrier tech, you have to lose some supply before you can start really working on it, which, I mean, you can keep going with the weapons upgrades. That's going to be the plan. So are we getting split up, going over 2 different paths, so going to be in a good spot to do a good engage, and I think all this passive, I hope he doesn't attack for Terran, is about to show how not well it's going to work. That 3rd base looks pretty secure, though. That's going to be hard to break, but the natural looks way easier.
I disagree. Well, okay, not that the natural isn't weak, but I think he can bust this pretty easily, because that's not a full wall. The Zealots will get on those tanks, and even though it's very narrow, 4 tanks...
I will rephrase. Given the supplies, the 3rd base is the hardest one to attack. Is that better?
Fine. Yeah, that's fine. Correct. Because the thing is, even though it's very narrow and that's bad for the Zealots, if there's only 4 tanks there, that is not going to kill very Zealots. What am I saying? That's not going to kill Zealots very fast. They will just chew through that if there's nothing else happening. Especially with these shuttles, right? If you just drop on top of them, also that's going to end this. That 1 SCV, I don't know if it's in hold position. I mean, maybe it could make a difference if the Zealots glitch out. It's not going to be efficient for Protoss by any means, but like you said, given the supply, it's just a matter of Protoss pulling the trigger here. And I love that he's taking this base, by the way. That's a great move. Because if you mine that out before Terran gets organized and gets up there, then they're like, damn, I don't have a base to take. Damn, look at those turrets, though. He is ready for the recall. But like I always say, turrets don't actually stop a recall. If Protoss wants to recall, he will. You need mines.
Yeah, I mean, turrets, like, if there's no preparation, you just hope you get away with it. Turrets can stop a recall.
Sure, but that I think that means Protoss didn't want it enough. You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like you interview the football player after the game, it's like, I guess we just didn't want it enough. That'd be that arbiter.
It seems pretty reasonable, but hey, that worker count definitely caught back up for Terran. You know, they've been working on the upgrades, and they're starting to add on more factories. 4 is not quite enough at this point in the game, but it looks like a small move out here. Realized NicePants got plenty of army ready to engage, so has to retreat out. Didn't over siege or anything, so at least trying to get some kind of damage done. Stormers goes down, looking pretty decent. NicePants' army very spread out, so you're actually not taking the best engage. You're not really trying to barrel into everything. And you can see actually moving out here. Double vulture moving off to the side. Maybe this is going to be
His
okay.
turret, though.
What the fuck?
Look at that SCV! What is he doing? He's like, yeah, we could use a turret right about here. Oh no, the Protoss army is here. Yeah, look, if Protoss fights in little hit squads at a time, that's going to be fine for Terran. The carriers cannot be produced. There is an arbiter out. Oh, I say that, but actually he doesn't have supply for 3 carriers. I'm sorry. I'm going to be more wrong. All these tanks, though. Well, I mean, I think Terran can clean up this stuff too. Maybe not be very efficient though.
But the natural though, all the tanks moved away from it.
Oh!
No defense. The production's going to get
Didn't even-
camped. This is way worse.
Didn't even see that. Yeah, he's just going to stream up there with the football team. And the Templar's ready to storm. Oh, did he go for a storm drop here? There's 18 kills on the Templar. What did we miss? God damn. Apparently he stormed all the SCVs while we weren't looking. And he's streaming into the main now with a couple of units as well. Tanks getting stormed as well. Great use of storms here as well. We don't see that often in this tier, so I think that's very impressive from NicePants. GG. Yeah, that was just brutal from the start.
Yeah, rough one. I am looking forward to if the next game is a little closer between these 2 players though, because I want to see NicePants when the game isn't so lopsided from the beginning where you can kind of do whatever you want. I think it's very easy with Protoss to look like you're dunking on your opponent when there's just like, who knows, man, you know?
Yeah. Well, look, I'm going to say about that game, it's like Protoss got like the slowest Zealot aggression I could imagine, especially given the rush instance on Eclipse, but still did so much damage. Just goes to show you really have to always have a plan for that in TVP. You can't just be going like, I'm just getting my CC, my barracks is not in a specific position. You must always prepare a SimCity of some kind.
Yeah, because I mean, we're talking Eclipse. There's no way that player never saw proxy gates on Eclipse, like at your 3rd or in Death Alley.
That too. Right? Yeah, that's the real risk that he wasn't addressing. But like that aside, if you want to bet they're going standard, like fine, you're making a bet. But anyway, in the bottom left, in the pink, we have Vaclavson. In the bottom right, in the olive, we have NicePants. Currently up 1 game, this best of 3. Can he take it on Silford? You're on top of this bottom, aren't you? I just realized.
No, these are fun. These are fun.
Okay, really? You like olive and pink of all colors?
I just don't want them to look similar on the minimap. Which way,
you know what?
Talking like TVT, and there's mines everywhere, and I can't tell where the mines are and who they are. I just see dots. It's like
you think colors help you with that when they're all laid on top of each other? Good luck.
They help me out a little bit more because that's what I was like making the joke about the yellow and pink. I'm like, oh, these Easter colors. There's like times where the mines are next to each other. I'm like, I don't know who has more mines here.
Look, if you're looking at them on the screen, not the map, you don't know anyway. Like, it's very hard to tell. Look, okay, but I love olive for Protoss. I think olive is a great Protoss color, but I hate it on the other 2.
Yeah, it's good. Now, we got time before things get out of hand. I do almost all my casting off the minimap. I don't know about you. I'm just staring at the minimap while we're talking about things.
I mean, I'm looking at the minimap, but like, what I'm talking about, whatever I'm talking about at the moment, I always put on the screen.
Oh, yeah, obviously. But it's like, I'm like, oh, these are relevant, like, click this building to show the upgrade progress, let's look at this army, but I'm, like, the entire time, I'm staring at the minimap for army movement, there might be a battle here, like, that's why I need the minimap to be obvious. That's why I hate black versus navy, that's why I hate when the 2 colors are similar to each other, like, all that stuff is just a nightmare for me.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, like I said, it's not like I'm not looking at the minimap to see what's going on. I just, want to focus on what's on the screen in the moment when I'm actually speaking,
Yeah.
Okay, so the scouts are going to meet at the other base. I hope no Zealots are made this game. That's all I'm going to say about this SimCity so far.
Well, you're gonna be wrong because look at the opener. We got another pylon, gateway pylon.
Yeah, I mean, well, honestly, I don't see how it's going to be different from last game. What is going to change here? We might see more marine production, maybe make it different. And if you have good micro, you can fight without the SimCities using SCVs and stuff. Is a possibility, but I don't know. We'll see.
Can you just be like, I don't need SimCity if I'm willing to make a bunker?
No, because they just walk past the bunker. They don't care about the bunker.
Well, like in the main, buy all the stuff.
Very
defensive. Very defensive.
You're building bunkers in your main while Protoss is making a Nexus? Like, I don't know, that's not going to work out very well.
$100 on a bunker is better than you losing like 15 units.
Okay, but how about just like making more Marines so you actually have units you can use as well? Or, you know, putting these buildings in a specific spot, which doesn't cost you anything, by the way.
Okay, well, we are seeing a little bit of a different opener, though. It is a core coming up reasonably fast, so it's just this one zealot, which then I don't like. I don't like the pylon, gateway pylon.
He's literally building a second zealot, dude. So it's
well,
gonna
no,
be.
But he has the core like way before that. Usually, I like two zealots, then make the core. You know, delay everything a little bit just to put the pressure on. Really.
Ooh, scouting probe. You want to keep that alive, almost like a PVZ. It can help with the harass here. I want to drive that thing away. The Zealot is coming up. Now, we do see 3 Marines have been made already this game, so Vaclavson definitely adapting a lot here. Still on gas, which I think is just a mistake here. I don't think he's planning on a 2-fac. And in fact, if his Zealot aggression is kind of not as good, generally. The Zealot not heading in, though. He's just chilling. Which might be a bit of an error as well. Second gate coming down before expansion. Might see some goon pressure here.
That would seem pretty reasonable, but we haven't seen range getting started yet. NicePants, you know, not quite the money, so we'll see what they end up producing. It's still working on zealots and pylons, all these kind of things, but the probe's in position to take a Nexus, but no money's being built up for it, so...
Because we got gates. You know, like, we can't afford that.
Yeah, so I'm not really in love with the build we're seeing here. Like, this, getting range on the way now, going to be using these gates, so this probe's just hanging out doing nothing.
Ooh, and it's, well, now it's not hanging out at all. Now it is nothing. Alright, bunch of Marines needs to be trying to push out against this Zealot. I mean, technically, I think they win this. Okay, he does run away. I was going to say, it could be a good trade for the Zealot if Vaclavson doesn't micro it, but he just pulls the Zealot back, which I think is fine. Oh, it is 2-fac. Well, I am so sorry, Vaclavson. I assumed the worst. That was just a mistake, but it is in fact going to be a 2-fac. I am so sorry.
I feel like you need to go undercover as like a tier 3 player. Just be like sleep deprived. And just be like really playing like garbage because... Like, you guess these things, like, oh, I think this one's a mistake, like, this little thing. It's like, you gotta really get in the world of these players, man.
Wait, Zero, what conditions do you imagine I play my tier 0 matches in? I'm just saying things. Sleep deprived and playing like trash, I mean... Do you know what time the deadline is for me?
You have all week to play, man. All
yeah,
week.
That's what I would think. And I've tried, man. I've tried.
Well, you should just gently remind them, like, hey, I'm a friendly caster if you want me to be friendly with you. Alright, so look at what we're seeing here, though. Citadel, no Nexus, 3 gateways of stuff being made. I'm curious if this is going to be that kind of, like, speed zealot, just bust through this kind of stuff, or if this will actually be DTs, because if it's DTs,
surely
this is so much slower. I don't like the choice if it ends up being DTs. So hopefully...
Surely with 3 gates, you've got to be getting speed, right? Now, that's the funny thing. Both players are like, oh, I'm totally expanding. Don't worry about me. But they're actually making units. So, like, I feel like whoever attacks is going to be at the disadvantage here. Protoss, really, to his credit, is trying to confirm this expansion, but just cannot. Oh, and Terran moving out. And I was saying it's going to be the disadvantage, right? So I think Protoss can be able to crush this force. Needs to rally more vultures soon. I hope that tank doesn't just sit in the base. Looks like it is moving out. Okay, so he's coming across here. I don't see any SCVs coming, which is a bit of an error. You need to be able to build bunkers and like repair the tanks and stuff. And like already this Protoss force looks pretty scary. Fight with just 2 tanks. Needs to wait for the 3rd tank, but he's just going right in there. Goon's already shredding these Marines. Yeah, this is going to be a one-sided slaughter for sure. Well, there goes the Terran army.
Yeah, this is tanks dying so fast here. Goon range really helpful. The Marines maybe can escape, but now that you got all this counter pressure, you got range to deal with. So Mines could at least slows down a little bit, but I don't think you even care about this. You just keep barreling forward, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, he can probably bust through that, right? The Zealots are low, but he kind of just has enough. Well, wow, he actually snipes it. Is he going to stop? That's the question.
He's got range. You don't have to stop. Kill that bunker.
Oh, he kills the mine! He doesn't need to pull back with range, though. Snipe the mine! Snipe the mine! Oh, okay, he doesn't actually kill anything, though. Now he just needs to get in range, right? There you go. And he's got his Nexus as well, so once again, Protoss taking a decisive lead. Oh, watch that bunker. Okay, good job. No, get out of there. Oh, wait, the bunker's dead anyway. Never mind.
And mine's being laid. No expansion, though, for the Terran. We got the Nexus behind, and working on Robo, so the tech is advancing again for NicePants. A little bit all over the place, but not quite as bad as what we saw last game. Ooh, gotta be very careful. It does take some big mine hits. Does manage to kill the other one though. So we'll see if they want to keep moving forward. Are you comfortable taking the natural, and that's enough? 2 tanks, it better be enough.
I mean, when you've killed Terran tanks and like you know they don't have much push potential, I think taking a third is fine here too. To be honest, but I mean, okay, he's microing these tanks, trying to push back these goons. The goons are very low, so I can understand why he's not trying to engage here. But the Zealot's coming up to tank as well. I think it's going to be enough to take this out. And yeah, once again, Terran forced to pull back. The mines might work against him there. Oh, the Zealots stop moving forward. I was going to say they could cut off the tanks, would be a good move, but I mean, is this tank really going to make it anyway? Oh, I guess so. Oh my god. Not the best micro from NicePants there, but you know, he's trying to make some probes at the same time, so that's an admirable goal. So Terran survives, but still just 2 FAC 1 base. Like, how long does it take to mine out in 1 base, I wonder?
Well, I mean, it'll get there eventually. Look what we see behind this. The Citadel's done, but hasn't been used for anything. Working on both of Robo buildings, so it can go into Reavers soon, and Observers as well, really see what's going on, but if you know your opponent's on 1 base, you think you're feeling pretty good as NicePants, the pro production definitely fell off during this attack. Could be a lot further ahead, could be taking the 3rd base like you're saying, so if they're going to go for harassment, it has to go well, because, you know, you make the shuttle, the Reaver, it doesn't go well, that's a way to kind of give your opponent some leeway. Siege mode done, inching out here, has to back off, doesn't lose any units, but I think that's finally going to be enough where at least you got to prep up for another real attack, or just let them have the expansion, take your lead.
Yeah, very unfocused, like you were saying last game. I feel like NicePants kind of just getting buildings because they're there. Like, is he actually going to do anything with the support bay? You just kind of get it, right? Same thing with the Citadel so early. There wasn't any actual reason to get it. Now, you know, he's not taking a 3rd base or anything, and he's given up trying to kill the Terran, so Terran's going to be on equal bases again. Like I was saying, you have to be ahead of Terran in bases, or you have to be killing them right now. Like, Terran will be able to, like, pull ahead if it stays 2 base for so long. So I want to see him try to take a 3rd.
Well, we do see shuttle in the way, so I wonder if the support bay will just be for speed at some point for the shuttles. That would be interesting to try to transition to that. Because, I mean, if you're just going to build a lot of gateways and kind of go for those core units, that won't be too bad of an idea. Let's do see units fanning out, trying to get some knowledge for NicePants. Looks like they might be taking that 3 o'clock base for their next expansion, which I don't mind, just as long as you're taking something, seems pretty good. The Terran, though, it's just a lot of siege tanks. Built the CC in the main, so going to be able to safely get their expansion in. This is not nearly the lead you had last game as NicePants. So hopefully they kind of focus up. They don't think they're miles ahead. It doesn't matter what they do. Like a little bit of what we saw last time.
Yeah, do you think he's just going to go for the attack here? It kind of looks like that's what he's thinking, but I guess he is taking this 3 o'clock, right?
I mean, last game we didn't see an attack. It was a much better spot to attack. We didn't see it till max. So I don't think we see an attack.
Fair enough. But do you think Terran will be able to hold off this time? Then he is pretty behind, but like you say, nowhere near as bad as last time.
Yeah, I think if the positioning is good, we'll see what the plan ends up being. Because last time, remember, we did was double armories, trying to go for these upgrades, and the factory count I think just stayed too low for too long. Couldn't help other than losing all the workers, obviously. So hopefully just little adjustments to kind of get them more on a better path here. But the SCV production is definitely not nearly as bad, trying to catch up a little bit here. There's those double armories, so hey, they focus on defense. I think they could be in a pretty decent spot here. And it's going to be on NicePants if they just want to build up this endgame Doom army or what they're going to be trying to do with it. Looking like Storm's going to be the choice right now, which on 3 base, 5 gateways, and you're only going for Storm, not quite enough to really burn your money too efficiently.
Yeah, I just want to see Arbiters, man. Like, Recall's pretty good in low level. Like, it's hard for Terran to coordinate and get back over there. Looks like Terran trying to take the 3rd as well, so he's going to be up on the economy here if Protoss doesn't do something about it. Of course, his SCV count is very low. So when I say up on the economy, I just mean, Terran on 3 base with no SCVs versus Protoss on 3 base with decent probes still is Terran ahead, to be honest.
That tank almost died. It was so
close.
I
I know. Didn't quite though. And yeah, now this is quite a nice position to defend for Terran if he can get some mines up in there. Hopefully more vultures to help out. But yeah, Terran can have a pretty good defensive setup here. And if the game goes long, this map is excellent for Terran because those back bases, the mineral only and then the gas, they're so easy for Terran to take. And it's very hard for Protoss to hide anywhere. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of worried for Protoss. If he's too timid again, Terran might have a real chance to come back here even though Protoss had a huge advantage.
This Vulture at the 6, because the probe's in such a weird position, didn't see it. It's tragic.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, it also means that he's not going to be able to take the Nexus, though. I get. Oh, but the Vulture leaves. So does the Probe. Look that Vulture, though. He sees the Templar, though, which is nice. He's going to know what's up. Hopefully he can spread his tanks a little bit more.
Yeah, seems reasonable. Now, we do see Stargate was added, so... And we didn't start any air weapons, so it looks like it will just be kind of more Arbiters, maybe. Trying to focus on that instead, but... I mean, if Vaclavson's doing a pretty good job, like that worker league keeps getting closer and closer, that third base is established, his tank count keeps kind of growing and looking more threatening as things go on as well, and like, you got 1-1 on the way. We don't see any upgrades from NicePants to kind of catch up to this, and yeah, it's, for what we saw last game, I just don't know how more fair fights are going to go. Like, what we saw was just such a big lead. It's like, how do you fumble that?
I mean, is there such thing as a fair fight in TVP? I think it's either the Terran has so much Protoss should never have attacked, or the Protoss has the advantage, therefore they're attacking and killing Terran. I think those are the only types of fights that exist, honestly, in this matchup.
I think there's a fair fight really early on, when it's like, you know, like the FD.
Maybe like, yeah, Marine tank versus goons, I guess, is sort of a fair fight. Yeah, alright. Yeah. But once Terran has a certain number of tanks, I don't think such a thing exists. Either Protoss tried to attack when he didn't have the advantage and got decimated, or Protoss has some kind of huge advantage and decimates the Terran. Interesting depot position. Once puts the comsat, that tank will actually be protected from Zealot, which is kind of interesting. I don't like the fact that all the tanks are sitting in a clump unsieged as close to the Protoss as possible. I'm not really sure why he even unsieged here. And that, like you say, based on last game, I don't think he's going to attack anytime soon, but if he does, he's probably going to kill all this stuff.
That seems like we'll get there eventually. NicePants eventually going to take this bottom left base, has to build a cannon to kill that mine. Has probes up to the top side, which mines are also stopping those as well. So it's going to take a lot of time, but working on it, and hey, it's air weapons.
No,
so I guess
Zealots, no, go away! Zealots, no! Why did you do this? They blew up the probe in the bottom left. The probe was waiting to take the next, and the Zealots ran in and blew it up. Now, you see the problem with trying to take this base in particular? You see the issue here?
I don't want to expand towards the Terran ever. That's not the fucking style.
Now, that said, Terran has like their army all spread out. The Vultures are not here with this, so Protoss can probably actually win this, and this might actually end the game just by virtue of finally making the Protoss attack. But in general, this is not the base you want to take. And look, these tanks really trying hard right now. My god, he needs to get those Vultures back there. The thing is, if all these Vultures are back and laid a bunch of mines, I feel like Terran actually had enough to even survive, and the game might even go his way. But as it stands, these tanks are on their own. A fair amount of tanks back in the third doing nothing. So this is actually a big win for Protoss right now. Nice Storm too.
Yeah, this is a great engage here. We get a giant supply lead off taking that stuff, and you reset that factory count all the way, or the tank count all the way back to the Stone Age, because there's only 2 machine shops and still only 4 factories worth of production, so it's a great pick-off.
Why is he pulling back though? Look, like those 2 Zealots killed 2 out of the 5 tanks up at the third, and this whole other force is just chilling, not helping. He could have busted the third easily into the game here. But he's sitting back again. Even these 5 Zealots could easily kill those 3 tanks as well. But Protoss, unfortunately, is not aware of how weak Terran is right now. More Vultures come out, though.
I'm not a fan of NicePants' expanding pattern. This is the second game where he's like taking bases, like it's just like, I hope he never scouts at locations, not stuff that's actually defendable.
I mean, that's kind of a thing, but at the same time, it's not like he needs to be sneaky here. He's so ahead, he could just take all the bases that are like naturally his. Okay, now the Vultures have reinforced. These Zealots are going to get cleaned up here. And so Terran going to hold this location for a bit longer, but how's he ever going to leave his base with no tanks, right? He lost so many. And we can see a huge mineral bank, not sure of a gas bank. Unfortunately, at the third, he's only mining with 1 SCV, and don't forget, on Silphid, that gas has very little actual in it. Like, he's transferring probes right across the map in view of Terran. What the hell?
Yeah, it's not ideal. This is how you give up your worker lead.
Surely Terran's going to realize where they were going, no? Maybe he didn't even see those. He might not have even been looking at those Vultures. They might have just been there and the probes ran into them. So I think he still doesn't know that base is there. He just scanned. But where did he scan? I don't even know where he scanned.
Not at that base, no.
Oh, he scanned this. I think he scanned this fake hacker on third. The Vultures run through. More probes trying to transfer while fights happening in the middle. A couple of Vultures getting picked off. Oh, he runs all the way into the natural. He's trying to lay mines, but probes do not trigger those. What is going on right now? The probes, they're going, but there's tanks on the way. What's even happening? Are they going to make it? Oh my god. Oh my god, these tanks.
No, you're giving it away. The reveal.
Even if somehow Vaclavson's like, I'm sure these probes are going to an empty base, he'll go up there and find it. Yeah, he finds it.
Yeah, he's scared. He knows for sure.
But once again, the Protoss army is like enough to deal with this because Terran just is not bringing his full force to bear. Again, if Terran actually put everything over here instead of a bunch of mines, I feel like he actually would have had enough to kill it, but as it stands, he's not. And the Vulture's all firing at Dragoons. The one unit they can't kill, the Vessel runs in here to get murdered as well. Trying to target these Templars now, but now all the Vultures are dead, so 2 separate fights. All the Vultures and now all the tanks on their own, not going to go well for Terran. You have to coordinate.
This is still not a really great fight for NicePants, though. He lost a good amount of
really
Templars,
isn't,
a lot of his
it?
ground force. Like, he keeps that base alive, but you know where it is. Like, you're going to have to fight for that the entire time now. Reinforcements moving across the middle of the map. Are they going to turn and actually fight that third? It looks like they might. And he's going to retake the bottom left as well.
But he's coming at the worst possible angle. God, the thing is, this is like going as badly as I could have possibly imagined for NicePants, really, given how good the opening was. And, like, Terran was just so behind, though, and his army's getting so spread out, he still can't pull it off. Because he was pretty dead early game, to be honest. Where's the detection? Oh my god, those SCVs trying their best, but the tank of the third gets taken out. There's one tank in the back here, but it's just poised to shoot his own SCVs somewhat. Arbiter's doing work, and that fourth base does survive, and he's retaking that one in the bottom left. I think this might be the end, even though there's like no Protoss units on the map. He's killed so much Terran. Well, that said, he's going to clear this up. I guess Terran's going to stay in the game if he can hold this location, right? And now the worker count has equalized a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, looking a lot more even here. Still working on this big transition into carriers, plus 2 air weapons on the way. Working on interceptors, but no carriers actually being built. They do take a long time and a long time to refill with all the interceptors. And we actually see there's a lot of money being banked up for the Terran. If you just make a lot of vultures, go on little raiding parties, get some mines up, it feels like that there's opportunities to kind of catch yourself back up in this game a little bit. But that third base did survive, and like the work count's not that bad. The supply lead isn't really growing despite some of these terrible engages that are actually ended up happening. So
see, this is what he needs to do before. If he laid mines like this before and had all his vultures and tanks over here, there's no way Protoss could have stopped him. Nice recall though, gets around that problem. Well, I cast a curse that, didn't I? But look, I did say before in my defense. That's an
aggressive like cast a curse. Be like, well, how do you get around these mines? Recall in the middle of the map just for a fight.
Hey, it was a good move. I like that recall a lot, actually.
What, do you like these reinforcements going into the mines, though?
No, I don't. That's not as good a move. Ooh. But you can see exactly what would have happened, right? If he had his full army earlier and all those mines there, he would have crushed all those zealots that came up. But now even more tanks bleeding out. I hear a DT swiping. Is that just the one in the main army I'm hearing? I suppose it is. I thought it was in a base for a minute.
I only see the one in the base.
Oh wait, there's a vessel. I thought it was going to mine drag there. Yeah, no. Okay, well, Terran's still soldiering on. I don't know if Terran is aware that Zmaan alone is here. I feel like he would have tried to take it by now, because it's in such an easy to take spot, right?
I'm not sure. But he went down to the 6, so if you're thinking rotational symmetry, like, you do know about it, just didn't really think about it.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking here. Maybe just not that familiar with the map in general. Alright, well, is Protoss going into carriers again here? He is. I was thinking, hang on, it's been a while. It's doing the same old thing from game 1. Now, he might actually have time to use them at this rate.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. There's still a lot of Arbiter production, and for all the bases being taken, it's not that many gateways. So I hope there is actually carriers being made at some point, because you can see the money's really going to start climbing up here soon. And once you get near max, like, you didn't manage to take another main, the Matrix go down, trying to fight this army as best they can with the little tactics force we got here. Terrans are really trying to push up to the top spot. I think they're focusing a lot on killing off that base.
Nice stasis. Yeah, I think Protoss with that stasis cleaning this up, but he's not bringing all his forces in. Half of them are running away. A third of them are running away. A third of them are doing nothing, and a third of them are trying to fight. Is that Arbiter going to win that? No way. No. There's no way an Arbiter wins a fight with alive. Come on, get out of there.
Well, you got a bonus Arbiter. Go fight. Go in there. You have +2
those other ones,
so strong.
Those other ones decided to stop running and came back and actually did clean this up. So Protoss is going to deal with this. Man, Protoss has burned for a lot of bank though. I can't believe how inefficient they've been with Terran moving out these tiny little forces. And, you know, finally only taking these space at the top. There's no way Terran's coming back, right? Am I crazy?
Well, I mean, look at all the main. The main is mined out. The natural's about to mine out. The third is, like, basically mined out. So, even though these base locations are very weird, NicePants is taking up, like, you know, if you want to take the space, you're going to have to kill my base to do it. It's going to buy a lot of extra time.
Well, he's going to do that. He's going to do just that. It's not an issue. And the middle only, like I said, is the main thing. Look, there's like a freaking probe here starting to build cannons, but SCV is going to deal with that. Oh, I think.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
Terran needs
where's
to
that
take out this
recall?
high ground boost.
Where's that recall on the main? That would just destroy the Terran
Yeah.
right now.
Well, where's the Protoss army? It's all at the rally point, struggling to get out of the base. That poor Dragoon, that is a bad fate for a Dragoon. And yeah, Terran's going to nuke this Nexus. He just needs to move the vessel up for vision, I think, and he'll be good. Or a Vulture will do the job too. No problem there. Or will it? Gets deleted by the cannon. Oh, even more cannons in the back. Watch out, Terran. Not going to be that easy. Still no CC in production, though. That's a big issue here. And like you said, the third is going to mine out in just a second. He can last without minerals for a while with that much money, but he wants to get these bases down ASAP. Oh, here come the Arbiter fleet, though.
Yeah,
Did not start plus the air weapons. I'm sad.
He didn't make any carriers. Like, you don't get the air weapons for the Arbiters, man.
Ooh,
they get
nice
one damage
stasis there. Very nice stasis. Good D-Matrix, though, going to try and help out a bit. And this is a pretty small Protoss force. There's a lot sitting in the Protoss base not helping out. That said, there's not much Terran army here either. A lot in the main as well. Only 6 factories, 22 minutes in the game. You know, this is definitely one of these games where we can say, like, okay, like, both of you need to just knuckle down on your macro. It would make such a difference in this game. Just getting those production facilities for Terran and using them. And Protoss just needs to take bases, get probes. Because he's poor as hell right now.
I feel like what you experience, though, as Protoss, you're like, oh, well, this Terran army gets so big and defensive, like, tanks are so strong, I don't know how to attack. Recall or carriers are great, and it's like, he went towards carrier tech, didn't use them, has recall, didn't use it, like, except for the one time, and, like, not the way you're thinking.
That was a fine recall. I think that was well
it was, but it's like, if you're not comfortable attacking, those are great ways to open up your opponent as well.
Ooh, once again, Terran hitting this bottom base. If he takes this out, this is really hitting Protoss economy. He's going to be on 2 mining bases only.
Well, he's got the stuff the stuff at the top section.
Yeah. Okay, 3 mining bases. I forgot, didn't realize he took that natural. But Terran's mining's not really that great either, as we can see. In fact, is he just not rallied the stuff? Is that why it's always hanging out in the main? Ooh, but Protoss coming to pounce on this small ragtag Terran force, and like the amount of units funneling in from all over the place, I think he should be able to do it. Well, he's going to cast any storm. I did not realize how many of the units coming in were Templars. If he doesn't cast a single storm, this is going to be tricky. Okay, there you go. There's your single storm. Okay, done. Problem. Well, I say that, but Experience still struggling to get in here.
Well, top left is the more important thing. Got to be able to lose
that
base here.
There's
you really
your recall.
needed to keep that one.
There's your recall. Very nice, very nice. GG. That's a good recall. And as you can see, recalls can end games pretty quickly sometimes. Nicely done. Okay, so, you know, NicePants, I would say pretty sluggish play, but able to take the advantage of his Zealots easily in both games, though.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it just happens in Tier 3 when it's kind of just like this and anyone below. You don't know how even the matches are going to be, but definitely want to see players like that have been around for a while, like clean it up a little bit if you want to like move to that next level, right?
I feel like if you had a game where like 2 pros played the first like 3 minutes and then you just like handed the game to those players, I feel like the Terran would have won both games actually. Like given how advantaged Protoss was, I feel like he played like way slower. So it's just as well he was able to take the advantage of the game, I guess I'm saying. So NicePants definitely playing to his strengths.
Yeah, I get the whole idea of, you know, you don't take any unnecessary risk. If you feel you're ahead, you're ahead. But then take more bases. Like use the tech advantage. Like if you're playing that style, like really lean into it. It felt very middle of the road and wasn't getting a whole lot done. Just the advantage.
He's missing the second half of that. He's not taking risks and throwing his advantage, but you know they went ahead, get ahead, more ahead. He was just went ahead, blank. Like, I feel like is what happened. He just was ahead.
Yeah, well, hey, it ends up working out that way. We do got one more series, and if you want to talk one that's going to have action, it doesn't have Lightstorm this time, but we got some ZVZ to close out the night.
Oh, well, we know it went Tech-Tail Hydras for the game to end, then.
Hey, you don't know that.
Oh, come on, man. In the top left, I can't even read this. It's Phoenix in the navy blue, and in the bottom left, in the red, it's Whyimnoob. Now, that's an AKA, isn't it? Who is it?
Void.
Void, right, thank you. I thought it wasn't the real name. Seems to be okay. The time-honored lag test. That was a late-ass drone, but I'm not going to try and say anything about it. I was about to start talking about it, but I'm like, Saetzero told me. Alright, so we've got a ZVZ coming up here in Tier 3. Should be, like you say, pretty intense action. Will we even get to Mutalisks? Might just be Lings. Sometimes people say, oh, 2 units in ZVZ, Lings and Mutas. They hate Scourge, I guess, but sometimes it's really only just Lings.
Yeah, I feel like, especially as the MMRs get a little lower in the micro, the positioning is a little bit worse. Ling all-ins or just big Ling pressure can put you in a spot where you get enough of an advantage where the mutas don't really even come into play. So we'll see what these players want to do, what kind of openings we see here. We'll see if it ends up being a 9-pool drone thing. You see, there's Overlords on the way. Neither player doing that. So will it be hatcheries first? Will it be just late pool kind of stuff? I feel like we're seeing a lot more 12-pool than we used to.
Yeah, that does seem to be the kind of go-to. I mean, if you think about it, at these MMRs, I don't think like your opponent having like a hatch first is really that big a deal compared to like if you go head first, your opponent has a 9-pool. I think it's a lot harder in Tier 3 to defend that. So I think it makes sense just going for these safe builds. And that said, it looks like a red player might be going for oh no, they're going for the pool. It's a bit later.
All right, yeah, so 12 pool versus overpool. So that should be a small advantage for the red Zerg. You know, like you got big rush distance if you're just willing to play defensive and kind of put yourself in a good spot. And so that's the kind of thing where it's like maybe you work on getting your lair before letting speed, willing to just camp your ramp, put yourself in a good spot here. Phoenix, though, is actually sending out a drone scout. 2 drone scouts? 2 drone scouts?
I think it's a mistake. Maybe one of them was a rally? I don't know. Maybe he's going to do that drone harass. I don't know, start building Sunkens or something.
It went down south. That is like deliberate. That is so deliberate to hide this over here. What am I looking at? I love it.
Is it going to be like a proxy? Dude, he could get like a 3rd hatchery and then just make more lings. Now, by the way, Void got gas here as going for the expansion, whereas Phoenix did not get any gas. That's what makes me think it might be a 3rd hatchery, but it doesn't even have a 2nd one yet, so I don't know if you can actually afford that. I don't really know how this works. Okay, 6 lings coming up for Void here, whereas Phoenix just taking the expansion. Getting more links here. Is he going to build it in the main? He's not even concerned with that other scattering drone, but honestly at this point he needs to get it back because he's lost a lot of money then if he's not going to use it.
Alright, so quick question as we see this game develop. What team is Age on again? Is he on one of these?
Playing this season? I don't even know.
Yes, he is.
Oh, well, probably one of these 2. Wait, what are the teams again? We have
GOSU,
2FAC, 2 Furious, and GOSU.
Yeah, he's not on 2FAC. I know that.
Was GOSU the European-ish team? I don't remember.
I don't know. We'll see. Ooh, drone gets found out by some lings. Great move to find that one out. But ooh, look at this. 3rd hatchery way off in the bottom corner.
I thought it would be a 3rd hatchery.
Yeah, I don't
see why else to run it. Well, if you're going to make lings with it, I'm a fan. If you're not going to make lings with it, then I'm like, yeah, maybe not. But he doesn't have gas for ling speed, so I'm not sure how this slow ling or ling's going to look. It's going to be a bit weird. Okay, a bunch of lings at the top of the ramp.
Return being a friend and confirming Age is in fact on GOSU.
There you go. Well, that all makes sense. Now, a bunch of lings coming up for a Void here, and he does have ling speed, by the way, so he might actually be able to kill this hatchery. It kind of flummoxes Phoenix's ling plans here. Oh, he's going straight in the main, and actually, that's a great engage on the enemy lings there. Really nicely done by move around the side and then get this round. In fact, he's just going to end the game right here. Like, never mind all this other theoretical stuff we're talking about. He's just going to kill so many drones.
Yeah, this is not great. Phoenix did have more drones to lose, and actually doing a pretty decent job with the micro, kind of disrupting these lanes from doing it, but, you know, a little bit behind now. Lanes do try to spawn, still has 3 alive here. Reinforcements, but they're not being used at the natural.
Oh, what a shame. They probably could have been killing that hatchery. Yeah, a bit over micro then, I guess, by Void. Look how much gas and minerals he has that he's not using. 3 lava idle at the natural. I don't know if his hatchery's a hot kid. And once again, these lings at the natural could be doing so much, but they're just sitting there. 2 more run into the main, which actually activate the ones at the natural, unfortunately for Phoenix, but they're still not doing anything. He's like winning with one hand behind his back right now. Oh my gosh. Please, Void. Okay. The more lings pop out for Phoenix, unfortunately cleaning up the lings to avoid it the natural. That's so unfortunate. He probably could have won the game just there.
And it's base on the bottom is drones, so it is like the I'm planning to lose this base kind of strategy, which I don't love that, you know. But we're just seeing a lot of lings move forward. Lair has been done, but Spire has not been started.
Blue is Phoenix, yes. Unfortunately, we can't change the color because they're on melee, so they both turn yellow. But yes, blue is Phoenix. People in chat just asking, sorry. So the spy is coming though. So even if Phoenix stabilizes here, what's he going to do? He's going to have to get spores here. And like, is he going to stabilize? Surely these lings are just going to kill him. Right?
I do not know how you survive this as blue here. Does have a little position on the ramp. I'm surprised that we're not seeing Void try to harass that hatchery at all, kind of limit some of the production.
Yeah.
I mean, we know there's a 3rd base off to the side, but that's not going to kick in just yet. It is, you know, at least trying to do something here. Lings being made from that, so there will be the opportunity for them to come into play, but still so much pressure in the main here. So many lings. There's more lings than drones, it looks like, so. And Reinforce is still moving across the map. Spire halfway done. Tons of ling production as well. I don't know. This is looking very dicey.
Oh, yeah. That's like all the drones except the ones at the 3rd. Is Phoenix going to try and, like, hold on from this 3rd and, like, what's he gonna do from there though? I don't understand his plan here. He's losing his main, and he's gonna lose his spawning pool. In fact, so what's he gonna do from this base? He's gonna have to rebuild the spawning pool, but then his opponent is taking Mutalisks as well. I mean, Void just has every advantage in every way. This third base is not really an advantage. It's just part of the stuff that Void's gonna kill in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, this isn't what I'm really looking to see here, but there's a lot of links, more coming from behind, so decent little group here, but that hatchery in the main gets taken out, so is that spawn pool, like you're saying, so no ability to make fighting units anymore, or Sunkens, right? So it's like,
yeah,
I don't know how you survive anymore. It's just a rough situation.
Void's not gonna find it for a minute, but what are you gonna do exactly in that minute? It's gonna give you any chance here. Like, what can you be doing that's actually gonna matter? Spire is done, but not a single Mutalisk being made, by the way. I guess he figures he doesn't need them right now, which, you know, at this rate might be correct.
Yeah, I mean, you still have a functioning economy. You still have 2 hatches of production. Lanes should be enough to get the job done, but seeing 1,000 gas into ZVZ is a little wild. It's a little crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. He only has 9 drones in total, I suppose. Still, though. Well, I mean, he only needs Lings. He doesn't need mutas in this case, but they do move fast. They can scout out pretty quick. Spawning pool being built in the bottom base. Only has 3 lava, though. Look how many Lings are out for Void. How many Lings is he really going to be able to make that's going to do anything? GG, he realizes there's actually no hope. That was interesting.
Yeah, I don't like the strategy decision we saw there, which, I mean, if they're saying Agi is on GOSU, that would be Void's team, right? Yeah, that's Void's team. So
right?
Like, that's why he scouted for the in-hatch. It's like,
yeah,
I know what you're about.
I mean, it seems like that probably was his plan all along, right? The way he hit that drone instead of sending it home, surely.
Yeah, but it's like, you don't need to be doing weird shenanigans like that. If you just want to be like, I want to use Lings, like, just put the hatcheries in your main, make them easier to defend against counterattacks, then your Lings could be super, yeah.
Phoenix in chat, tell us, were you planning to build a hatchery in his base? Tell us the truth. He's not gonna. He doesn't want to tell us the horrible truth.
Hey, remember, there's a little stream delay.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to build a sunk. Okay, like you're gonna sneak in there and build a sunk when he's not looking. I mean, if you finish the sunk, that's gonna be devastating. But I just can't imagine how he's not gonna spot that. You know.
That's okay. We got game 2. You know, shenanigans still an opportunity. We got in the bottom left in that dark blue, Phoenix, and in the bottom right in the red, Wellian, whatever. It's Void. Freaking.
It's Void.
It's Void.
Well, you win. Yes. So, okay, Saetzero, we're reaching the threshold here. Alright, he hit 100 minerals. What's Phoenix doing? Why doesn't he have a drone? He hit 100 minerals, man. Come on. There's no way.
No, you know how excited you're getting right now? You're that, like, you go out with your buddies, and one dude, like, notices that someone's checking you out. You should be like, yo, she's in love with you, man. Like, you're freaking out. It's like, yo, be cool. Be cool.
Yeah, that's right. You're totally right, though. You're totally right, yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, okay, but that's me, man. Look, don't you want the guy in the group to raise your confidence, you know?
No, because that guy's the dude that's like, you know, I'm just trying to chill. You'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna go talk to her for you. It's like, yo, no, chill. No, like,
yeah,
you're
okay.
not that good, buddy, sometimes.
Yeah, I'll try and, like, be a wingman, but I'll say some, like, weird shit about you, you know? Like, oh, yeah, my friend over there, Saetzero, I don't know what I'd even say, though. No, something weird.
Well, see, here's what I'm going to say. We're on a 3-player map, and we are seeing either a very late pool, looks like it's going to be a 12 pool, versus the 5 pool, short distance. This is not ideal. Sends out the drone scout, so going to be able to find out where the opponent is, and ooh, this is looking dangerous.
So the thing with this drone is, as well, you want to get in there and build a sunken, right? So he's looking for an overlord, I think, in that direction, but it was a bit too late. But I think he's still assuming it's this location somehow. I'm not really sure how. Oh, you know what? Because his overlord would have seen the overlord if it came from the 12 to his location, and this drone is seeing if the overlord came from the 12 down to the bottom right. So actually, he does have scouting info. He knows where it is. Here he comes, and look at this. The drone coming out for a hatch. That is not going to help you there. Oh boy, the creep colony is probably going to go down any second. Where do you put it? Do you put it like out in the open so it's far away from the hatchery?
I'd put it behind the mineral line. Behind the mineral line.
You can't fit there.
No,
unfortunately. Well, you
not
can fit,
that
like,
bottom patch.
No, you can't.
Oh, damn.
It's only like 3/4 covered with creep. Now, he's going to probably cancel and rebuild here, I imagine, but the Lings are coming. No, he doesn't cancel. Maybe a bit of a mistake there, but I mean, it is costing some mining time. The Lings are about to be here, but is this actually going to be enough? Honestly, it looks like Void's going to hold.
Yeah, look at Phoenix, though. No Overlord. Oh, there's no more Lings on the way. It was just the 6.
Oh, the rally. No, the wrong rally. Oh, and like you say, no Overlord. And now there's 6 Lings of Void, so like, what are you going to do here? In fact, Void did not even cancel the hatchery, so he's going to have an enormous advantage if he doesn't die, which it certainly looks like he's not going to die. Wow, trades all the Lings away perfectly, but he wins the fight in the end. And now he can just make Lings of his own. Lings finally on the way here for Phoenix. Did not fix his rally point yet, though. Uh-oh. No 4-pool lifeguards here, people saying chat. Yeah, that's right. Someone fell into the 4-pool, I guess.
Well, it was a 5-pool. 5-pool.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, these things coming here. Well,
it doesn't look great for Phoenix, right? But you can put some pressure on this other hatchery at least. Do you cancel this? Like, it's so focusing on the thing, but no, you just take the fight, right?
Even if you didn't have the same number of Lings right now, like, it can last for long enough for you to get a couple more, and then hopefully it'll survive on low HP. And look, he does just keep it alive. Like I said, like, Void has such an advantage right now with this hatchery here. I'm not really sure what Phoenix is going to be able to do here. Now, Phoenix did get up to 6 drones, so he can continue to keep sending Lings here, but with double hatchery production, Void is just going to be able to produce so many more. Let's see, 4 more coming in, but there's 5 here for Void. Oh, he actually pulls back. Oh, he wanted more to hatch. Ooh, great engage there for Void. Only loses 1 of his own Lings. Brutal. And now he's going to come across the map. Now the shoe's on the other foot. Now the tables are turned.
And slowly starting to mine gas, so whenever they get to that 100, they can be on the path to getting Lair, getting Ling speed, whatever. So, again, Phoenix just kind of behind a little bit. And the moment you have to block this choke, that you know you're in a bad spot when you did that opening, like, this is... You don't have the gas, you don't have your next step, you're not going to outproduce your opponent because you know they have a hatchery. Like, I don't know... Well, I don't think there is a path to win this game anymore, honestly.
It certainly doesn't seem like. Well, he's got that nice Link set up at the choke, but he doesn't have a gas of his own. He's still only on 6 drones. Look how many drones Void have. I honestly think he made too many. He probably would have been better off just making more Links here. Because actually, look, Phoenix has the Link count at least at this little choke here for now. That's a lot of drones. My God.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully just not trying to be a little too greedy here. But you already got the 2 extra bases and the extra. You can kind of slowly add them on, but it's kind of like when that first attack happened, I was very surprised that Void didn't make a creep for a Sunken for defense. Because, like, your opponent, they show up with that attack at that time. It's like, you just need to survive. You can eat a little bit of the loss, but their situation is still looking super good. Overlord sees that everything's retreating back to defend, but it's 5 drones versus 13. It's so much, and Link speed's halfway done now. Void's just adding on a lot more Links, so much more production here. It's just, I think you get into this part where Phoenix is about to take a fight, Link speed finishes, and the game ends immediately, if not earlier.
Oh, well, I mean, Phoenix has a pretty good Link count, though, but there's so many more in the back, I didn't even see those. Yeah, maybe he's just waiting for Link speed. He's waiting to spring the trap, waiting for Phoenix to fully commit here. A drone's falling, but I mean, he's got plenty of those, and they're coming in here. Oh, gosh. Yeah, no, he's going to kill everything. So Link speed just finishes up, and now he's going to go straight for the counter, I imagine. So many Links fell there. A second hatchery coming up for Phoenix, but I don't know if it's really going to help him. He's only got 5 drones. Now, in chat, how many drones do you need for 2 hatch Link production? Oh, GG.
Not that
5? Not even 5? Void's still in the game, by the way. Okay, he left. He was there for a few seconds. Because that's a 2-0, right? 6.
That's another 2-0, and that actually makes the entire night a 2-0.
Wow.
Actually.
We never got to Polypoid, huh?
We never got to Polypoid. Even with the bonus game, I was like, ooh, maybe the TPT. That'd be fun, but unfortunately, we just got through a lot of serious night. Tier 3 always, fun to watch these kind of little mistakes, and we saw a variety of not having macro, not having focus, a whole bunch of things, so hopefully anyone watching the cast kind of can get an idea what they should be working on for the future weeks. I always want to see the Tier 3 players improve throughout the season, don't you?
For sure, for sure. But look, I thought there was some nice plays there. I was quite impressed by, like, honestly, that last game as well. I thought Void did pretty well staying calm against the early pool. Just microing his drones and, making his stuff. It was nice to see.
Okay. Well, I think we're good for the night as far as what we got here. We will be rating somebody. If you want to hang out and watch some more StarCraft action, we got your back. Don't worry about that.
If they don't end the stream. Anyone who was here yesterday, by the way, they ended their stream between me looking and seeing what was on and the raid countdown ending. That's when they ended their stream. So I claim no responsibility for that.
Sure. I believe you. But yeah, we're going to